A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and what it means to be the wife of a famous star. Rupert Barlow, financial backer of Larry Noble's present Broadway play, is about to leave his luxurious Long Island estate at Oyster Bay and pick up Mary Noble and Maud Marlowe in nearby Rosehaven, and then drive into New York for the first appearance of Claudia Vincent in the feminine lead opposite Larry. Julia Dixon, Rupert's secretary, is ready, and only Oliver Wilson, Rupert's unwelcome house guest, is holding them up. Right now, we find Rupert taking matters into his own hands and knocking at the door of the guest suite occupied by Oliver.
Confounded nuisance, this young idiot. A born troublemaker, too. And now he thinks nothing of holding us all up. Wilson, I say, Wilson, are you about ready? Probably just getting ready. I'll bet he's shaving or something. He can't hear me, or else he's just doing this to get my goat. I wouldn't put it past him. I didn't think Julia really meant it when she said she'd go away with the fellow. I'd throw him out of this house. But you sound so serious. I can't be sure that crazy man of mine, Victor, didn't actually arrange to have some of his friends run him off the road and beat him up, even after I told him no violence. For 2 cents, I'd fire Victor.
Rupert! Oh, Rupert!
What is it, Julia?
And what in the world's taking you so long?
Now, your perfect guest doesn't answer when I knock on the door.
He must be sleeping, poor lamb. Oh, no wonder. Wait for me. I'll go in and wake him up.
I'll wake him myself. The idea. Come on, Wilson. We're all ready to go. Been waiting over half an hour. Wilson!
Rupert! Now, don't you dare bellow like that at poor Oliver. Do you want to startle him out of his wits?
If I told you what I'd like to do...
For heaven's sake, Rupert.
Well, he isn't here. Not a sign of him in here.
Well, you'd hardly expect him to be up here in his sitting room. He's probably on his bed sleeping. After all he's been through, I don't wonder.
All right. Oh, he may be taking a shower. I better try the bathroom. Nope, not in there.
Poor dear. I really think he should stay home tonight. He's in no condition to go to the theater.
Well, keep him here, then. I'm sure Mary won't mind. And as for me,
Well, just don't stand there. Open the bedroom door and see if he's sleeping. And if he is...
Well?
Well, don't make so much noise, Rupert. Now let him sleep if he can.
He isn't here either.
Oh, but he must be, Rupert.
All right, you find him then. I tell you, he isn't here. The door to the closet's wide open, and he isn't in there.
Well, of course he isn't in there.
I'm just looking everywhere, my dear. Do you want me to look under the bed?
Well, certainly not. Oh, I don't understand where he can be.
Neither do I. But let me tell you that I won't stand around waiting for him indefinitely.
Well, he surely isn't far. Now, don't be ridiculous. He must be downstairs. Oh, perhaps he went out to my cottage to pick me up. He's so considerate. Oh, I'll go see.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a note or something pinned to the pillow.
Well, here, let me see.
I have it. It's a note, all right. Darling Julia, I couldn't bear to put you to any more trouble over me.
Well, give me that note.
Wait
It's
a minute.
now.
Let me finish. But that roughing up I took has raised particular cane with that jumpy tooth of mine. So I've decided to run into New York to have it attended to. Please forgive me, darling, but I couldn't stand the pain. I'll see you at the theater without fail. All my love, your Oliver.
Give me that note.
Your Oliver, indeed. Why couldn't he tell someone he was going to run out like this and hold up all the preparations for dinner?
Poor Oliver. I think it was terribly sweet of him not to want to bother me. If only I'd known. The poor lamb. Now you see what your wretched Victor has done. That gangster that you like to call a valet. He might have killed Oliver. He might have injured him seriously.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Victor had nothing to do with his beating if he actually did get held up.
Of course he got held up. Do you think he'd lie to me about a thing like that?
I wouldn't put it past him. Anyhow, here's your note. Your handsome hero with the delicate teeth is left. I presume he took my car again.
How can you even mention your car at a time like this? When poor Oliver's probably suffering the tortures of the damned.
I have no intention of being late, Julie, in spite of Oliver Wilson. Now, come along. Let's get started.
Julia Dixon, worried over this poor young man's sufferings, follows Rupert Barlow down the hall. At this same time, Larry Noble's having dinner in a restaurant near the theater with Harold Ramsey, producer of his present play. And we hear...
I'm surprised you aren't having dinner with Claudia Vincent tonight, Larry.
Claudia had other plans.
Oh? What kind of plans?
How should I know, Harold? She's busy, that's all.
Well, the reason I ask is not because of my deep interest in Claudia Vincent's personal life. I only want to be certain that she'll show up backstage before curtain time.
Well, of course she will.
I'm not so sure anymore. After the way she held us up at the final rehearsal this morning, the way she came swaggering in, not a care in the world, almost 2 hours late.
I know, Harold, that was bad. But you're all right. She promised me she'd be in plenty of time.
Very decent of her, I must say. After keeping the entire cast standing around in this heat, just to help her with her lines.
If you feel that way about Claudia, why did you agree to let her take Sheila's part in the first place?
I'm hanged if I know, Larry. If Sheila hadn't wired me that she's married and on her way to Europe by plane, I swear I'd call the whole thing off.
It seems to me you're being pretty tough on Claudia. You haven't even seen her before an audience yet.
I know. That's why I've got the shakes. If she makes a hash of the part, well, before I get the new understudy ready, it could easily ruin the whole show.
She won't ruin it. I think she's darn good.
Oh, Larry. You have to think that.
Why?
Because it was your idea in the first place. Because you talked me into giving her the part. I think we both must be nuts, Larry. Next time you fall for a girl, keep her out of the show, will you?
You've made cracks like that before, Harold, and I don't like it. For your information, there's nothing between Claudia Vincent and myself. Nothing at all, you understand?
No, I'm hanged if I do. Why'd go to so much trouble if you aren't interested in the girl?
I think she has a lot of talent, Harold. I wanted to give her a break. That's all there is to it.
Does Claudia know that?
She knows it all right. She broke a dinner date with me to go out with that blasted young Oliver Wilson.
Oh? Who's Oliver Wilson?
He's a young upstart that Julia Dixon brought back with her from Bermuda. He's supposed to be in love with Julia, but doesn't look much like it right now.
So now he's making a play for Claudia. The lad gets around, doesn't he? Oh, cheer up, Larry. If we get through tonight, we can face anything.
This is the darndest way to approach a first night I ever heard of. Come on, Harold, let's get out of here. I'm too jumpy to sit still.
I haven't even ordered dessert. Oh, well. Waiter. Check, please.
A short time later, Mary Noble's on her way to the front door of her Rosehaven, Long Island home in answer to the bell. And we hear...
Maud, you'd better come down. The car is here. Oh, hello, Rupert.
Hello, my sweet. Oh, darling, how perfect you look and how desirable tonight.
Thank you. Maud will be down in a minute. She just went upstairs to touch up her makeup. Won't you come inside for a minute, Rupert?
Well, I doubt if I should, my dear. Julia's waiting out in the car alone, and, she's in the most horrible temper.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What's the matter?
Well, it's this wretched Oliver Wilson. He left the house quite without warning, only pinned a note to his pillow saying he'd join us at the theater.
But what about dinner? Surely he doesn't want to miss such a splendid party as you're giving, Rupert.
Don't ask me what's going on in that fellow's mind, my dear. All I know is that he skipped out, taking my car as usual. And that's why we're late. We were waiting for him.
Strange thing to do, isn't it?
Very. And so if you find Julia a bit on edge, just try to understand.
Of course.
If only she'd get over this ridiculous infatuation for that idiotic boy. I tried to tell her that there's nothing to him, but she simply will not listen to a word.
Do you think she's actually in love with him, Rupert?
In love with Oliver Wilson? Oh, of course not. Julia loves me. She always has.
I know. But perhaps she thinks you haven't given her love the proper consideration.
Oh, Mary, darling, you're talking sheer nonsense. Now, shall we walk over to the car and wait?
Yes, I think that would be best.
Just don't say anything at all about young Wilson. Julia is in a very irritable state of mind.
Rupert Barlow appears to be pleased at this new turn of events. And if he knew the truth that Oliver and Claudia Vincent have eloped, wouldn't his spirits soar? Well, be sure to be listening Monday to Backstage Wife, the story of Mary Noble and her husband Larry Noble, famous Broadway star.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, A Logic Named Joe, by Murray Leinster.
It was on the 3rd day of August that Joe came off the assembly line. And on the 4th, Maureen came into town. And that afternoon, I saved civilization. Maureen is a blonde I was crazy about once, and Joe is a new 1974 model Logic that I've got stored away down in the cellar. And how do I save civilization?
You're listening now to a voice from the future. The voice of Frank Caldwell, head serviceman for the Logix Corporation, makers of the machine that does everything for you. Well, nearly everything anyway. The electronic Logic. In the year we speak, 1974, no modern home was complete without one. And the Logic sets were working so well that life was soft indeed for repairman Frank Caldwell. That is, until that fatal day of August the 3rd, when suddenly the Logics began doing everything for their users and doing it too well.
On the 3rd of August, there wasn't much doing, and I'm hanging around the boss's office smoking up his cigars.
Frank, there's a customer outside. Go take care of him, will you?
Me? I'm a maintenance man.
Mr. Korlanovich wants to have Logix explained to him.
Explained? Where's he been, on Mars?
I just moved up from the backwoods someplace.
Well, why don't you explain him?
Well, I don't feel too well.
You were okay half an hour ago.
Are you the boss here or am I? Go on out there, will you?
Okay. Oh, Mr. Korlanovich, good morning. My name is Caldwell. Can I help you?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Caldwell. This is my little boy, Freddie.
Hi, you jerk!
Oh! Freddie, how many times have I got to tell you not to kick people in the shin? Excuse it, please, Mr. Caldwell.
Oh, sure. Just a kid.
I got a knife home, could cut you into little pieces.
Please, Freddie. We'd like to buy a Logic, Mr. Caldwell. The gentleman we spoke to first said he had to leave in a hurry.
I'll fix him. Well, I understand that you're not acquainted with Logix, Mr. Korlanovich.
That's right. We just moved to the city.
Uh-huh.
My wife, she saw everybody else had a Logic, and you know how women are.
Oh, you bet. Well, you can't get along without a Logic in this day and age, Mr. Korlanovich.
Look, I got a snake. You want to see?
Well, you shut that. Now, about the Logic. Here, I'll just plug in this one right here. Now, you see, the Logic looks kind of like an old-fashioned television set, only it's got keys instead of dials. Now, a lot of the keys are standard, like the television stations, the news, the stock market quotes, and so on. Of course, if you want to talk to somebody, you just punch the number of his Logic. It's like making an old-fashioned phone call.
But there can't be keys for everything.
Oh, no. Now, let's say that you want to ask a question, like what to take for a sore throat, or who won the American League pennant in 1911. You turn on the Logic, then you just punch the question key and ask, like this. Who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
There, you see.
But I already knew that.
Well, of course, that was just a sample.
I got a little store. Will it keep books for me?
It will keep your books, record your contracts, serve as a filing system, and check up on what happened to your lawyer's last client. Anything.
Hey, they're really something, these things.
10,000 services and information sources in one. Read our advertising.
What I want to know, Mr. Caldwell, how do these Logics work?
Of course. Now, you saw that big building across the street?
Sure.
Well, that's one of the relay tanks. You see, there are a dozen of them all around the country, and they're all hooked up together. And there's a data plate in one of those tanks for every fact in creation. Anything that you want to see or hear, you just punch for it. And the logic gives you the answer.
Hey, listen. Could I ask this thing how to make dart poison?
How to make what?
Dart poison. Like in Africa. I could shoot the darts through my bean shooter.
I think maybe we'd better not get one of these things.
Oh, no. It's perfectly all right, Mr. Kolonovich. The logic won't tell you that.
I bet it will. I'm going to try it. Hey, how do you make dart poison?
Public policy forbids this service.
Oh, what did it do that for?
Kind of some little brat. Because some people might ask things that aren't good for them.
Listen, I don't like this here one. I want that one over there.
Kid, they're all alike.
I want that one. If I can't have that one, I'm going to hold my breath till I'm dead.
I got a lot of time.
It's no use, Mr. Caldwell. You might as well give him the one he wants.
But look, kid, they're so much alike that even I can't tell them apart.
I can, and I want Joe.
Joe? Who's Joe?
I guess he means the logic, Mr. Caldwell. He has to think up a name to call everything. You should hear some of the names he calls me.
Not till I'm 21. I promised Mother.
Okay, so we call him Joe, but them things are all alike to 1/10,000th of an inch.
I don't care. I bet he'll teach me how to make dart poison.
Okay, then. Come on, Joe. So he keeps yelling, I want that one. I want that one. I'm going to call him Joe. Mike, I tell you, I could have wrung his neck.
How many cards?
I'll draw 2. What a holy terror. He had his father scared to death.
It's too bad that kid ain't mine. I'd show him quick enough who was boss in the family. Uh-oh, holy smoke.
What's the matter?
I'm sorry, fellas. I got to hold up the hand a minute. I just remembered. Oh, I got to call my wife.
Let her wait.
You ever met my wife? Hey, what's the matter with this thing? It ain't getting my house.
Announcing new and improved logic service. Your logic is now equipped to give not only consultative, but directive advice. If you want to do something and don't know how to do it, ask your logic.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Well, they should have told us about that.
Oh, it's just somebody trying to pull a gag.
Oh, it didn't sound like a gag to me. Maybe the boss decided to add a new logic service.
Look, the minute the system starts giving advice, some joker like you is going to be asking questions like, how do I get rid of my wife? Oh, no. The boss knows better than to start anything like that.
Yeah, but you heard what the logic just said.
Oh, listen, the sensor circuits will block the question. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try it.
Well, anything for a gag. Okay, logic, I got a question for you. How do I get rid of my wife?
Service question. Is your wife blonde or brunette?
You guys hear that? She's a blonde.
Hexacrylobinatine is a constituent of green shoe polish. Take home a frozen meal containing pea soup. Color the soup with green shoe polish. This poison is fatal to blonde females only. This fact is a product of logic service. You cannot be convicted of murder. It is improbable that you will be suspected.
The saints preserve us. That's bound to be right. These things can't make a mistake. Well, Mike, don't just stand there. Check the sensor circuits, quick.
Oh, we can't get to them. They're all sealed up. It's supposed to be impossible for them to go out of order.
Well, they're out of order now. And I got a feeling that some awful things are going to happen. Boss, we've got to do something. The logics have gone nuts.
Now, relax. The thing gave a goofy answer once. Maybe it was a joke.
But
it was an accident. Now, forget it. It won't happen again.
What makes you so sure? People are going to be trying it. Look, supposing I wanted to get rid of you, for instance.
You don't. How would you collect your pay?
I know, but just supposing. Now, look, we'll try it.
If you want to do something and don't know how, ask your logic.
How do I bump off my boss? Male, fat, bald-headed, and 45.
Make some chocolate ice cream containing powdered charcoal in place of half the chocolate. Use Hotso brand charcoal. Hotso contains an ingredient fatal only to fat, bald-headed males. This fact is the product of logic's service.
Now, look, Frank, I admit these things have gone a little wacky, but there's nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. If this keeps up, what do you bet that we'll have to shut down the company?
You kidding? We can't shut down the company, and you know it. Logics have taken the place of everything but night baseball. We shut them down, we'd go back to a civilization that we've forgotten how to run.
Yes, but, boss, there's no telling what they'll do.
Listen, now, you've asked these questions for a gag. Nobody's going to ask them seriously. What you need is a little faith in human nature. Excuse me, it's probably my wife.
Cyrus, dear, how do you feel?
Why, just fine, sweetheart. What have you been doing?
I just called to tell you, Cyrus. I've got your favorite dessert for dinner.
Dessert? What kind?
Homemade chocolate ice cream. Cyrus, when you taste it, you'll just die. Cyrus, what's wrong? Why don't you answer me, Cyrus?
Chocolate ice cream.
This can't be happening. Why, this is awful. These logics are dangerous.
Have a little faith in human nature.
Now, Caldwell, you're the head of the maintenance crew. I'll give you 24 hours to fix these logics or you're fired.
Well, now, look, boss.
What are you standing there for? Get in the service car. Get moving.
Where?
Anywhere. Find out what the logics are up to and see that you find out before the logics do.
Bartender, give me a double.
Last night, have a little drink, pal. What's the matter, pal? You had a bad day?
Oh, excuse me, bud.
Listen, pal, you gotta listen. I got troubles.
Bartender, will you get this barfly off of me?
On your way,
son. Oh, don't say that. I got troubles. How am I going to keep my wife from finding out I had a couple of little drinks? How am I going to do it, huh?
Look, mister, it's a hot day, and I've been driving a car around in it, see? And I've been trying to keep a bank president from having apoplexy on account of his logic told him how to rob his own bank. I've been trying to stop 6-year-olds from asking what comes after the bees and the flowers and their fathers from asking how to get $1 million by tomorrow. I've been tripping over dead bodies so artistically croaked that nobody's ever going to find out who done it, and all you got on your mind is
how am I going to keep my wife from finding out I've been drinking?
Dry up, will you? Go ask the logic.
My pal, my boy, where's the logic? Where's that logic?
Here, right behind you. Here, here's a nickel.
Listen, I got to hear. Now, come on, logic, old pal. Old pal, be nice. How does a guy keep his wife from finding out he's had a couple of little drinks? Answer me that, huh?
Buy a bottle of Franine hair shampoo. It is harmless, but contains an ingredient which instantly neutralizes alcohol. 1 teaspoonful for each jigger you have consumed.
Oh, boy, gotta buy a bottle of... what was that again?
Supposing it's right, you'll never remember it as far as the drugstore. I think there's a bottle in the back room. Somebody left it.
Oh, my pal. Oh, my boy. No more trouble. You'll just show me the way to go.
I got a picture of him back there drinking that shampoo.
Yeah. Give me another double.
I don't know what's worse, to be as low as you or as high as him.
Where is he? I know he's here. Where is that bum?
What do you want, lady?
My husband. I know he's here. Where is he?
Show me the way to go.
That's him, that no-good louse. I'll show him. Thinks he's coming home staggering again, does he? Well, I'll teach him.
Poor guy.
Why, my dear, what a surprise to see you here.
Archibald, you're sober.
Of course, my love. I'm sober as a judge.
Then what are you doing in a saloon?
Your suspicion wounds me deeply, my love. Let me tell you, my dear, that I have been conducting a research project that is going to make us a fortune. I'm going to patent Soba, the drink that makes happy homes.
Look at this blotter, Caldwell. Blank. The greatest crime wave in history, and we can't even make an arrest. They're all perfect crimes. Thanks to the logics.
But, Sergeant, we're doing our best to find out...
Well, that's not good enough. You can't find out what's back of this. Shut down the company. Unless the police department will.
Look, nobody is back of it. The logics run themselves. They pick their own circuits automatically.
You mean they're doing all this by themselves?
Sure. We always knew they could do a lot more things than we knew about. I think they're just trying to be helpful, that's all.
That's all, huh? Well, you better make them cut out the tricks, including this new business they're up to now.
What new business?
Just started an hour ago. Every time you turn on a logic, it asks your name, and then it spells out the whole history of your life.
What? I haven't heard about that. What's it do that for?
You tell me. Go on, go ahead, try it.
Okay.
What is your name?
How do you like that? I'm Frank Caldwell.
Frank Caldwell. Were you ever called Ducky?
Ducky?
Lay off, will you, fella? What if I was? It's been years.
Ducky, there is a call for you.
Hello, Ducky.
Holy cats. Lorene.
Ducky, darling, how marvelous.
Hey, let me get a look, huh?
Gosh, Lorene, where are you?
I'm in a hotel. I just got into town. Oh, Ducky, wasn't it smart of the Logic to find you?
The Logic? To find me?
I asked it how to find Ducky. You must have an unlisted number, darling. You're not in the directory.
Well, how have you been, Lorene, since I saw you last? I heard you got married.
You won't believe me, Ducky, I know, but I've had 4 husbands, and I've never loved anybody as much as I love you.
You've divorced 4 husbands?
3. The last one, died unexpectedly.
Oh, who unexpected it?
He did. But the jury acquitted me, Ducky. They knew it was just a little old accident. So now I'm free again, and we got lots of things to talk over. You come right on over here, Ducky.
Oh, well, Lorraine, I'm working, you see, and I'll call you back.
All right. Here's a kiss. That'll have to hold you till you get here. Hurry, Ducky.
Oh, my back. What am I going to do?
Do like you were telling me a while ago.
Huh?
Calm yourself. Ducky.
Call on the Logic for you, Frank, your wife.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Hi, Gerd.
Frank, I've been trying to get you for an hour. Where you been?
I've been out making calls, honey, trying to find out what ails these Logics.
Well, you better find out in a hurry or there's going to be trouble.
Now, look, Gerd. Now, just take it easy, huh?
Caldwell, you can't let this happen to me. They're asking everybody's name, and when you tell your name, it reels off your whole history.
Well, honey, I don't think they're doing that anymore. I think that was just temporary.
Well, in the meantime, it's told everybody in the neighborhood all about me. I punched Mrs. Hudson's name. She's been married 3 times, and she's had Mr. Hudson arrested twice for non-support and once for beating her up. It'll tell anybody anything.
Yeah, but look, Gerd, I'll tell you.
Frank, you stop these things or I'm going to leave you.
Oh, honey, you don't mean that.
I do. If you can't figure out how to keep our private lives out of every Logic in town, then I'm through, and that settles it.
I can't even budge any of these relay plates.
Me either.
Isn't there some way we can disconnect them?
Nope, there is not. They weren't built to be disconnected. The sensor circuits were supposed to take care of cutting them off. Now, see who that's for, Frank.
Hello, Ducky, darling.
Oh, Lorene, not again.
Ducky, darling. I'm so lonesome. Why haven't you come over?
Well, I've been busy.
Oh, poor Ducky. Look, let's get married.
Gosh, Lorene, well, what I mean is...
Right away, Ducky. You're not busy tonight, are you?
Look, Lorene, I got married.
Oh, poor boy. My poor Ducky. Well, we'll just get you out of that.
No, look, Lorene.
It's all arranged, darling. I'll just call up your wife and have a little talk.
No, now, please, Lorene, I mean, it's nice of you to think of me and all, but
Yeah, you just give me your address and your Logic number, darling.
I haven't got one.
Never mind, darling. The Logic will find out for me.
Lorene? Lorene?
Hey, Frank, will you get away from that thing and give me a hand?
Yes, Mike, in a minute. First, I've got to call my wife. We got to get out of town. Oh, Lord, I made a mistake.
Frank, you're supposed to be helping Mike.
Yeah, I am, boss, I am, but I got to make this call.
Call? What do I care about your call? President's getting ready to close down the company and declare martial law. Now, for the love of heaven, do something.
Yes, boss, I will. I've just got to make this one call before the Logics get on my trail.
To assist in solving a special problem of Logic service, kindly give the following information if possible. Where does Frank Caldwell live?
They got me. I'm through. Look, Gert, will you please not ask any more questions?
Frank Caldwell, I told you I was leaving you.
Honey, leave me later. Right now, will you pack up yourself and the kids? We got to get out of here.
But what is all this? Are the cops after you or something?
Yeah, that's it, the cops. Now get moving, honey, will you? And will you get away from that logic?
But don't you think we ought to hear the police call?
27 and car 31. Detailed to round up all employees of the Logics Company. Use caution. They are suspected of sedition.
Holy smoke, the cops are after me.
But you just said they weren't.
Car 17, proceed to vicinity of 119 East 7th Street. Child terrorizing neighborhood. Use extreme caution. Child is armed with bean shooter using poison darts.
Freddie.
Who's Freddie?
Something I met once in a horrible nightmare. He wanted a logic that would tell him how to make dart poison. They're all alike, I kept telling him. They're all alike.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know, Gert. All I know is it was a nice world up to yesterday. Now it's like a guy named Joe come along and squashed all our mud pies for us.
Looks to me more like it was a logic named Joe.
What'd you say?
A logic named Joe.
A logic name? But they're all alike. Gert, baby!
Frank, let me go. Don't be so silly.
All right, honey, look, you hold the fort. Maybe they aren't all alike.
Where are you going? Frank, are you going to make a getaway?
Getaway, baby. If you've got the right inspiration, I'm going straight to the middle of this whole jamboree.
Yes? Oh. I was hoping it was the police.
You remember me, Mr. Kolanovich, Caldwell of the Logics Company?
Logics Company. I wish the Logics Company was at the bottom of the ocean.
I don't blame you, believe me. Now, where's your logic?
In here. I'd smash it into a million pieces if I wasn't afraid of what Freddie would do to me.
Right, look, just get out of the way, will you? I've got business with Joe.
If you want to do something and don't know how, ask your logic.
Oh, we're back to that routine, Well, I want to do something, all right. Can a logic be modified to achieve correlations for which human brains are too limited?
Yes.
How great will the modifications be?
Microscopically slight. Changes in dimension not detectable even by precision gauges. They can come about only through an extremely improbable accident.
And what would this super logic then be able to do? Come on, you, spill it.
It could set up entire new combinations of electronic relays, which would bypass the normal sensor blocks, thereby enabling it to perform valuable new services, including the giving of helpful advice on any human problem.
And has this accident ever happened? Come on.
It has happened only once in the case of the logic now owned by the Kolanovich family of 119 East 7th Street. A logic named Joe.
Thanks, Joe. That's all I wanted to know.
Hey, what's all that about?
I'm taking this logic away, Mr. Kolanovich. I'll bring you a new one, and our troubles are all over.
Hey, you, get away from Joe.
Correction, our troubles are just beginning.
Freddie, put down that blowgun.
Ah, shut up. Hey, you, I said get away from the logic.
Look, Freddie, I'm going to bring you a nice new one, see?
I want that one. Get your mitts off it. What I got in this bean shooter ain't lemonade.
Mr. Caldwell, the police. They're outside.
Yeah, for me and Freddie.
Nuts. What they want you for? You ain't smart enough to do nothing.
Oh, no? Hey, there's plenty I could tell you. Look, there's the cops, kid. It's you and me against them.
So what you gonna do about it if you're so smart?
Now, look, we may have to find our way out. Let me see that blowgun. I know a way to hop it up so the cops won't have a chance. Now, come on, give it to me.
Okay, let's see what you can do. Here.
Thanks. Here!
Oh!
Mr. Caldwell, you're a great man.
Now all I got left to do is pull this plug out of the wall. Come right in, Sergeant.
Well, that must be the kid. He don't look so tough to me.
Well, he just got a little softening.
There'll be no more complaints, officer. I guess I can go on where Mr. Caldwell left off.
Caldwell? Hey, you wanted...
Now, look, I just came to pick up this busted logic. I don't know a thing.
You said that before. Come on, you're going to the cooler.
Let's go.
Oh, wait a minute. You act like you wanted to go to jail.
Well, just till a certain party leaves town. I got a feeling it's safer.
Okay, then, Caldwell. Into the paddy wagon you go.
Thanks, officer. You may be saving my life. Now, if you'll just help me carry this logic out.
Wait a minute. You can't take that in the wagon.
I can't? Why not?
There's no room. We already got a dame in there who's raising the roof.
A dame?
Yeah, a blonde. Plainclothesman picked her up trying to buy a gun without a permit. She keeps screaming she's going to miss her date with Ducky.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you A Logic Named Joe, adapted for radio by Clarice Ross from the story by Murray Leinster. Featured in the cast were Mandel Kramer, Wendell Holmes, Guy Rep, Bill Zuckert, Walter Kinsella, Bob Hastings, Joseph Julian, Joey Fallon, Mary Lou Forster, Ann Thomas, and Mary Patton. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week, X-1 will bring you a dramatization of Robert Heinlein's famous science fiction masterpiece, The Roads Must Roll. It concerns the day when traffic became so impossible that the engineers took over and banned all automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and built huge mechanized roads which whirled along on giant rotors at speeds up to 100 miles an hour. An engineering miracle changed the face of the nation. The rolling roads took over. No one worried about the fact that if the road should stop, our whole economic life would fall apart. The machinery, they said, was perfect. But they forgot that machinery depends on men, and men are not perfect. Be sure to tune in next week at a new time, same day, for another exciting broadcast of X-1.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight's story, The Roads Must Roll, by Robert Heinlein.
Hear them hum, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, while you glide, we are watching down in sight, so your roadways keep rolling along. Oh, it's high, high, he, the roller men are we. Check off the sectors loud and strong. 1, 2, anywhere you go. You are bound to know that your roadways keep rolling along. Keep them rolling! That your roadways keep rolling along.
It was in the middle 1950s that the automotive age began to die. The traffic engineers had long expected it. For years, they had watched our vast cities sprawl and spread out, spill over into the countryside, become more and more dependent on motor transportation. And then finally, the inevitable breaking point was reached. The growing flood of cars and buses and trucks began to swamp the streets and arterial highways. The building of roads could no longer keep pace. The superhighways, clogged, congested, became packed with cars stalled bumper to bumper. And the cities began to die of slow strangulation, for the traffic could no longer roll. And then the engineers took over. They banned the automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and in their place they built the rolling roads, mechanized roads that moved like huge conveyor belts, whirling along on their giant rotors at speeds ranging from 5 to 100 miles an hour, carrying the freight, the food, and the people from city to city and coast to coast. And no one worried over the fact that if the road should ever stop, our whole economic life would stop. For the machinery had never failed yet. But people forgot that machinery depends on men, the men who run it.
Who makes the roads roll? We do! That's right, the engineers. We're the brains of the road. And where would the public be if we didn't keep the roads rolling? Right behind the 8 ball, and everybody knows it. All right, then. We're the men who hold the power, and it's time we started using it. We've called this meeting of the Engineers Control Committee because that's what we want to do. Control. Because I'm tired of taking orders from the Transport Commission, from slick desk jockeys like Jim Gaines, who don't even know a rotor bearing from a field corn. Now let Gaines yammer about our duty to the public. That's a lot of eyewash. We've got the power, and we're the men that count. Now it's time we quit fiddling around and use a little direct action to get what we want.
Mr. Chairman!
The chair recognizes Brother Harvey of the Transport Mechanics Union.
Thanks. Now, I don't rightly belong here since I'm no engineer. I'm just here to represent the workers' union. But I want to know what's all the shouting for. You engineers have got better working conditions than we have, and we ain't kicking. You say the engineers are powerful. You say you can tie up the roads. Well, so can any screwball with a jar of nitroglycerin. And he wouldn't need no engineer's degree to do it, neither.
Harvey, are you speaking for your union now, or are you here as a stooge for the Transport Commission?
Listen, Van Fleek, I helped fund my union. I led the strike in 75 for decent working conditions. Where were you engineers then? With the Fink!
Brother Harvey, remember, you're only a guest at this meeting. Go on, Van.
Now listen, men. I'm one of the old engineers on the roads. You all are, worked up the hard way. We didn't go to the fancy technical institutes like those young punk cadet engineers the commission is training to take over our jobs unless we do something to stop them. Jim Gaines hasn't been able to fill us full of the old school spirit and that baloney about how the roads must roll. So all right then. Why don't we get smart for a change? What would happen if the roads stopped rolling? Maybe the country would begin to realize that they can't do without us. Maybe we'd begin to get the things we want. Who says the roads must roll?
Yes?
Your wife is calling, Mr. Gaines.
Put her on.
Jim, I want you to stop off on your way home.
I'm sorry, darling, I can't make it.
But you promised.
I know, but Washington called in. They're sending Evans, the Australian Minister of Transport, through my sector today. I've got to show him through personally.
Can't somebody else?
I'm chief supervisor. Wouldn't be courteous.
Courtesy begins at home. I've planned this dinner for weeks.
Honey, the roads must roll.
Oh, if you quote that nauseating slogan at me again, I'll divorce you.
I can't help it, darling. I'll meet you at Stockton at 9 and we'll take in a show. Kiss Alan good night for me.
Well, all right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Evans is here.
Show him in. Well, good evening, Mr. Evans. I'm Gaines, chief engineer.
How do you do, Mr. Gaines? They told me at the embassy you'd be the man to see. I want to know how the roads work.
I think we can handle that.
Well, I'm not a technical man, Mr. Gaines. My field is sociology. So, suppose you tell me about the roads as if I were entirely ignorant.
Fine. It's nearly dinner time. Suppose we run up to Stockton sector for dinner. It'll take us about an hour on the roads, and you can see them working.
Excellent.
If you'll excuse me a minute.
Certainly.
Hi, Chief. What can I do for you?
Dave, you're on evening watch, eh? Where's Van Cleet?
Going to some meeting.
I'm going up to Stockton for dinner. Anything to report?
No, sir. The roads are rolling.
Okay. Keep 'em rolling. All right, Mr. Evans. Let's go. This is the low-speed strip. Ever ridden a conveyor before?
No.
It's quite simple. Remember to place the motion of the strip as you get on. There. We'll go right across. Each adjoining strip is a few miles an hour faster than the one next to it. Freight is carried on the 50-mile strip, most passenger traffic on the express strip. All right, now watch your step. There we are. The maximum speed.
100 miles an hour. It doesn't seem possible.
This strip makes the round trip San Diego to Reno in 12 hours. Ready to eat?
Is this the restaurant?
Jake's Steakhouse. Fastest meal on the road.
Is it really a proper restaurant?
One of the best. Shall we go in?
Hello, Mr. Gaines. We don't see you much out on the road.
Busy in the office, Jake.
Two? Right this way. What'll it be?
You order.
Well, how about a steak? 2 inches thick from a steer that died happy.
Fine. Plug me in the phone, will you?
There's one right next to you. Flank 2, rare.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Evans?
Certainly.
Davidson on watch.
This is the chief. I'm at Jake's Steakhouse. You can reach me at 10L66.
10L66, right.
Yeah. Now they can get hold of me in an emergency.
Oh? What kind of emergency could there be?
2, principally. Power failure on the rotors would bring the road to a standstill. If that happened during rush hour, we'd have to evacuate millions of people from the road.
As many as that?
Easily. There are 12 million people dependent on this section of road. Gaines here.
Hello, Chief Davidson. Just got the hourly reports in. Diego Circle, Bakerfield Sector, Stockton Sector, and Reno Circle all rolling.
Oh, you didn't have to bother me with the hourlies, Dave.
There's a supplementary from Sacramento.
Proceed.
Cadet Engineer Gunther, while on watch, was found playing cards with C.J. Ross, technician on duty.
Any damage?
One rotor running hot, but still synchronized. It was jacked down and replaced.
All right, have the paymaster give Ross his time and turn him over to civil authorities. Place Cadet Gunther under arrest and bring him to Rotown Central.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep him rolling. I was saying there were 2 possibilities of danger. Can you visualize what would happen if the strip under us would break?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You don't realize you're traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Well, it can't. Not now. The strip has a safety factor of over 12 to 1. It'd take a blowout of several miles of rotors and a failure of circuit breakers before the strip could part. But it happened once in the early days on the Philadelphia-Jersey City road. The strip wasn't much more than a conveyor belt. It buckled for miles, crushing passengers against the roof. Forward section in front of the brake spilled them down under into the rotors and rollers.
Oh. Was it very bad?
Over 3,000 people were killed in that break. But the roads had to go on. The entire economic system hangs on the roads. If they stopped now, the country would starve.
Well, isn't it possible that you've become too dependent on these roads? I mean, if your whole economy is geared to the function of one type of machinery...
The roads are foolproof now. The machinery is interlocked with an enormous safety factor.
Yes, but in the long run, machinery depends on men. What if you had a strike?
We had one back in 75. But there's not much danger of that anymore.
No? Well, why not?
Every cadet that goes to work on the roads today is a graduate of the United States Transport Academy. They're all picked men, screened for emotional stability, and trained to give us the same kind of loyalty that Annapolis and West Point develop in their men.
I see. Are you a graduate, Mr. Gaines?
No, I'm too old for that. The academy wasn't set up till after the strike in 75. But it won't be long now, maybe 5 or 10 years, before the oldest engineer on the roads is a man who's been through the academy. Gaines here.
Davidson, there's another trouble report from Sacramento Sector.
Again? What is it this time?
What's this? What is it? What happened?
Emergency stop. Hello. Hello, Davidson. Phones are out. Come on. Jake! Jake!
What is it? What's the matter with the road?
Have everybody stay in the restaurant. What's that? Probably somebody stepped onto the next strip. Got cut to ribbons. There'll be plenty of casualties. Jake, where's your getaway hat?
In the pantry.
Look here, aren't we going to help those people?
I've got the whole road to think of. Don't bother me. Give me a hand, Jake. The hatch is stuck. If you're coming with me, Mr. Evans, you've got to move fast. I haven't got any time to waste.
Where are we now?
Freeway on top of the inner road ceiling. That's the outer shell over us.
Are we going outside?
No, there'll be an access down manhole over here. They're spaced every 100 feet.
There, by the green light. Now, this will get us down on the northbound road. Careful, it's dark. Now stand wait in the door, Evans.
Yes. But, this road is still rolling.
It was only the 100-mile strip that stopped. That's what I want, a phone booth. Look out, excuse me. Look out.
Hey,
Out.
hey, I'm talking to my wife. What's the idea
Don't
of
argue.
busting in here?
Out.
Yeah, but
Emergency priority, division office.
Davidson.
Gaines here, report.
Chief, where have you been? I've been calling you.
Never mind that, report.
709, consolidated tension. Report strip 20, Sacramento sector, past emergency level. Interlocks acted and cut the strip out. Cause of failure unknown. Direct communication cut to Sacramento Control Office. Evacuation of strip 20 commenced. No casualties.
There are casualties. I saw them. Put police and hospital routine A into operation. Get me Bank Click. I want him to take over for me till I report in.
We can't reach him, Chief. Shall I cut out the rest of the road?
No. Keep those other strips rolling or we'll have a traffic jam the devil himself couldn't untangle. There are 5 million passengers on the road now. Notify the governor that I have assumed emergency authority. Arm all cadets available and await orders.
Shall I recall technicians off
No.
watch?
This isn't an engineering failure. That whole sector went out simultaneously. Somebody cut those rotors by hand. I want all available senior class cadets to report to Stockton subsector, Office 10, with pistols and tear gas.
Yes, sir. The governor wants to talk to you. He called in.
Refer him to someone else. I'm busy. I'll get back to you. I'm going down under. Evans! Evans!
I can't hear you. There's a noise.
Put on this helmet.
What?
Helmet! Helmet!
Oh, yes.
You can't hear without an anti-noise filter. Come on.
What are we looking
A
for?
recon car. There should be one here.
Are those the rotors?
Now, the big ones are rotors. They drive the road. The little ones are rollers. They give continuous support. There's a watch gang now, jacking down a rotor.
Can they hear us?
No, the noise filter works on a 4-foot radius. I'll flash him. Now, he sees the light.
Cadet Wilson reporting, sir.
I want your recon car, emergency.
Yes, sir, right over here, sir.
Come on, Evans.
Yes.
Get in.
But it's so small.
You'll fit all right. You can take off your noise filter now. Hang on, she accelerates like a rocket.
Ooh, my stomach.
Relay station.
This is Gaines. Get me Davidson, senior watch officer.
Mr. Gaines, the mayor wants to talk to you.
I haven't got time. Get me Davidson. And leave this circuit hooked into Davidson's board until I tell you to cut it.
Yes, sir. Here is the senior watch officer.
Davidson.
Gaines calling. Have you found out yet what's stopping the roads?
No, sir. It's still a mystery to me.
All right. I'm on my way in a recon car. Hold everything till I get there.
Cadet Edmonds reporting, sir. 3 platoons of cadet engineers standing by with tumblebug motorcycles.
Armed?
Pistols and tear gas as ordered, sir.
Good.
Assistant Supervisor Van Cleek is calling you on Circuit 9, sir.
Van Cleek. It's about time. Put me in.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Van. Where are you?
Sacramento office. Now listen.
Sacramento. That's good report.
In a pig's eye.
What?
I'm not your deputy anymore, Gaines.
What are you talking about?
Listen, don't interrupt me and you'll find out. You're through, Gaines. I've been picked as director of the Engineers Control Committee. We're taking over.
Have you gone off your rotor?
We stopped Strip 20 just to give you a taste of what we can do. We're running things now.
And you don't really think you can get away with this?
You can't start Strip 20 until I'm ready to let you. I can stop the whole road if I have to.
Van Cleek, I'll call in the Army.
How will you get 'em here if the roads aren't rolling? Now listen, Gaines. Whoever controls the roads controls the country. And right now, that happens to be me. Now sign off, Gaines. Gotta call the White House. You behave yourself and you won't get hurt.
I don't believe it, sir.
He's got us, Edmonds. If we go in and blast him out, he may wreck the road. What's your rolling tonnage now?
53% under evening peak, sir.
How about strip 20?
Almost evacuated.
Listen in on this, Davidson.
Standing by, Chief.
I'm going down inside with these cadets. We'll work north, overcoming any resistance that we may meet. The watch technicians and maintenance crews are to follow behind us. Each rotor, as they come to it, is to be cut out from under Sacramento's control, then hooked into the Stockton control board. Understand?
Got it.
Check.
If it works right, we can move control of Sacramento sector right out from under Vance's feet, and he can stay in his office there till he's hungry enough to be reasonable. Edmonds,
Get me a pistol.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gaines, there's a man here. He's badly hurt. He wants to see you.
Take care of him. I haven't got time.
He's from Sacramento Sector.
What? Bring him in.
All right. Easy. Come on. Easy.
Mr. Gaines.
You're Harvey from the Mechanics Union, aren't you?
I tried to warn you. I tried to get away. He shot me 3 times.
Get a doctor. All right. Easy, Harvey. How long has this been building up?
It's the engineers. I told them they were crazy. Told them the road's got to roll. When I tried to get away, they...
He's bleeding from the mouth, sir.
Harvey. Harvey, can you hear me?
He's dead, Mr. Gaines.
Come on, Evans. We better move.
Hey!
All right, you men. You saw Harvey brought in. How many of you want a chance to kill the louse that did it?
I do.
Very well. You men turn in your weapons and return to quarters. We've got a job to do. To make sure the roads start rolling again. We haven't got time for infantile heroics. Anybody who hasn't got his mind on his job will be in the way. Now, here's the order. We move north, mounted on tumblebugs. We're going to try to regain control, rotor by rotor, before Sacramento Sector knows we're moving. We've got to capture any watch personnel we run on before they can get word back. Surprise is vital. Use tear gas when possible. Shoot only when necessary. But get them before they can reach a phone jack. Any questions? No. Then move out. What's the score, Edmonds?
33 prisoners so far, nobody killed.
Whoops. Yes, since I rode one of these tumblebugs, I've gotten how to steer it.
Well, sir, there's a man ahead. There at the rotor base.
Got a phone jacked in. Hurry. If he gets word back, we're sunk.
I don't think he's seen us. I'll dismount and get him.
Quick, he sees us.
Here, you.
Look out, he's got a gun.
Oh, I got him.
Grab his gun.
Yes.
You had a phone jacked in, all right. If he got through to Sacramento office, it's going to be tough.
I don't know, sir. Maybe he didn't get the call through.
Wait a minute. Listen.
The road.
Take off your noise filter. There. The road. The road is stopping. Halt your men.
Hold up there. Hold up.
There's a recon car coming up.
Relay station call from Mr. Gaines.
Give it to me.
Here you are, sir.
Gaines here.
Davison here, Chief. Ben Cleek's calling you.
Who stopped the road?
He did.
All right. Cut Ben Cleek into me.
You thought I was fooling, huh, Gaines? What do you think now?
All right, Van. The road is stopped. You won this trick.
Then why don't you get smart and give up? You can't win.
You forgot something, Van. You can't lick the whole country.
Yeah? Gaines, I've got a switch button in my hand. If I push it, it'll blow 300 yards straight across the roads. And then, for good measure, I'll take an axe and wreck the control station before I leave.
That's pretty drastic, Van.
Yeah, if I blow this charge in the middle of Sacramento Sector, it'll get an awful lot of people. There are plenty of shopkeepers still on Strip 20, and that row of apartment houses next to the road will go.
Look, Van, you don't want to blow the road, neither do I. Suppose I come up to your headquarters and talk this over. 2 reasonable men ought to be able to make a settlement.
Is this some kind of a trick?
I'll come alone and unarmed. My men will stay here.
All right. All right, Gaines. But one wrong move, and I blow the road.
We've got to hurry, Dave. If I take too long, Van Cleek will get edgy and set off that charge.
Tell your report notes.
1, strips must be cross-connected with safety interlocks, so that when one dies, the others slow down. 2, the men.
I can't understand it. Psych tests are rigid. We've never had a failure in the Hum-Wadsworth-Burton method. And then suddenly a whole sector goes sour. How could Van Cleek get a whole crew of psych-cleared men to revolt?
It's easy, Dave. As my deputy, he was ex-officio personnel officer for the whole road. He must have been faking psych records for years and transferring maladjusted men into his sector.
I've got that personnel record, Mr. Gaines.
Man's record. Masked introvert. Inferiority rating 7. Comment. Despite a potential instability shown on Wadsworth Curve, this officer is especially adept in handling men. He's adept, all right. I haven't got time for any more, Dave.
You're not going up there to Sacramento office.
I've got to.
He'll be armed. He'll kill you.
I've got to take that chance.
But unarmed? Why don't you call in the Army? He won't dare blow the road.
Yes, he
then.
would. Look at that psych record. He's putting up a big, brave front, but he's rotten inside. He wants to be taken seriously. He wants everybody to think he's the most dangerous man in the country. And if I call the Army in, he'll try to prove it by blowing the road.
How can you stop him, Mr. Gaines? He'll have a gun. What'll you have?
What'll I have? Only a prayer. And what I know about Mr. Van Cleef.
All right, Gaines. Director Van Cleef can see you now. Gaines is here, Director Van Cleef.
Come in, Gaines. Behaving sensibly at last. You know I've got you where I want you, and there isn't anything you can do about it.
I searched him, Director. He's unarmed.
Mm-hmm. I want you to sign this now. It's a declaration of your recognition of the Engineers Control Committee. You've got 1 minute to sign it, Gaines, or I'll push this button and blow up the whole sector.
You better sign, Gaines.
You need this gorilla with the gun, Van?
Hey, you...
Can't you handle one unarmed man alone?
All right, Harry, out.
What?
Out? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now sign. What's so funny?
You are. You start a revolution because you think the engineers should control the road. Then when you've got control, the only thing you can think of to do is blow it up. Tell me, what are you so scared of?
I'm not scared.
Yeah? Sitting there sweating all over that push button you're holding? Your buddies knew how afraid you were. They'd probably throw you into the rotors.
I'm not afraid.
You're afraid of me right now. You're afraid I'll have you on the carpet. You're afraid the cadets won't salute you. You're afraid they're laughing at you behind your back.
No, I'm not. No, you keep quiet. I've got a gun.
You're afraid of using the wrong fork at dinner. You're afraid people are looking at you, laughing at you.
I am not you. You dirty, stuck-up snob. Just because you went to a high-hat school, you think you're better than anybody. You and your crummy little gold-braid cadet.
Van, you're a pathetic little shrimp.
Huh?
I understand you perfectly. You're a third-rater.
Oh.
All your life you've been afraid that someone would see through you and send you to the foot of the class.
Oh, yeah.
Throw you right out on your rear where you belong. I don't want to look at you anymore.
I'll show you. I'll put a bullet in
Put
you.
down that pop gun before you hurt yourself.
Don't you come near me. Don't you come near me or I'll shoot. I'll shoot.
Give me that.
No. Let me go.
Give that pistol. And thanks for not disappointing me, Van.
I don't understand.
I thought if I wounded your little ego, you'd forget to push that button and pull a trigger instead. I'm afraid you'll never make a good executive, Van. They have to know when to push buttons.
Davidson.
Gaines here.
Chief, are you all right? Are you...
I'm all right. Attack now and mop up. I'll hold the control room. I've got Van Cleef, and I think his little revolution is just about over.
Hear them hum, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, while you glide, we are watching down inside, so your roadways keep rolling along.
Mr. Gaines!
Oh,
Mr. Gaines!
Hi,
Mr. Evans, I forgot about you.
Yes, I've been waiting at the sector office. Is everything under control?
All rolling. Those are the watch engineers going under to check Sacramento sector, inch by inch.
Remarkable organization. Remarkable.
Hourly's in, Chief. San Diego Circle rolling. Bakersfield, Fresno, Stockton.
Stockton? Oh, no.
What's the matter, Chief?
Trouble, Mr. Gaines?
It sure is. I promised to meet my wife at Stockton for a show. She's been waiting there since 9 o'clock last night. Dave, see if you can get her for me. Try the sector office.
All right, Chief.
And Dave, see if you can calm her down.
Oh, sure, Chief. I'll tell her the roads must roll.
No, don't tell her that. I don't think she'd appreciate it. She's heard it too often. I better get going. Bye, Dave. Keep 'em rolling.
Anywhere you go, you are bound to know that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling, that your roadways go rolling along. Keep them rolling.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
The magic island of Euclidia is no longer visible. At the location of the island, the waters of the South Pacific Ocean are rolling gently. And on the surface floats the rocket plane, which Captain Bradford and Elaine have landed near the upper escape lock of the underwater city of Euclidia.
The time is going to pass very slowly for the captain and the Euclidean girl commander who is now helping him. They will have to wait for days until the Gregory boat arrives, and the Euclideans are captured. Back on the Gregory boat, Mrs. Gregory, Jerry, and Joan are wondering and worrying about the two who have gone ahead. In the radio cabin of the boat, Jerry and Joan are doing their worrying out loud.
All right, Joan, all right. You're sure, and I'm sure. So let's forget it.
But, Jerry, we are sure of two different things.
Yes, but we don't get any place by arguing. You think you're right, and I know I'm right. So what?
Regardless of who is right, I am very worried about the captain and Elaine.
Oh, so am I. But Tex never got into anything he couldn't get out of.
They must be nearly out of fuel, Jerry. Elaine said when they took off that they had barely enough of the fuel gas to take them to Euclidia.
Well, what of it? They're not trying to go anyplace else. What do they need fuel for?
If the Euclideans are able to escape from the underwater city and attack the captain, he will need fuel badly.
Oh, I know it. That radio message from Tex sounded like a bluff to me.
A bluff?
Yeah, you know, trying to make somebody believe you can do something you're not very sure of.
I think you are right. The captain was, as you say, bluffing.
Yeah, you bet he was. That gag about capturing G-47 and his men on that raft wasn't very good.
What do you think he was actually trying to do?
Oh, probably scare them back into their hole so they would stay put until we get there.
The captain was very sure that his universal solvent would effectively prevent the escape of the Euclideans.
Well, I guess it would, if he had a chance to get it planted before any of them escaped.
And if he did not?
Well, then we're going to find Tex and Elaine prisoners when we get there. And the rest of us will probably end up the same way.
But that would be terrible, Jerry.
Oh, don't tell me.
We would not be treated so kindly this time. G-47 would have the captain's solvent, and he could easily work out the formula. Then there would be no further need for him to show us any consideration.
Well, all right. Golly, I know all that as well as you do. But when you're sure of bad news, why rub it in?
I am not rubbing anything.
Oh, I didn't say you were.
I see you two are just as friendly as ever. Mother.
Oh, Mrs. Gregory. Well, we're not fighting, just arguing.
No more news from Tex?
No, Mother. The radio has been silent.
Well, I hope no news is good news.
Oh, sure it is. The captain and Elaine know how to take care of themselves.
Yes, they would if they had a chance. But what are the odds against them down there?
I think their position is not pleasant.
There you go again. Why don't you try to be cheerful once in a while?
Jerry, you were the one who suggested that the captain's radio message was a bluff.
What? Well, you see, Mrs. Gregory, I've got an idea that Tex sent us that message just to scare the Euclideans, if they were listening in. I don't think he had a chance to really capture them.
I thought that, Jerry. The message didn't ring true.
We can do very little to help them, and this boat is so slow.
Everything seems too slow when you're trying to cope with those Euclideans. But this was the fastest boat I could get, which was large enough to hold the 200 or 300 people we may have to bring back with us.
Yeah, they don't keep us there with them.
Oh, yes, Skipper?
Jerry.
What, me?
Hi.
What for?
Something wrong, Skipper?
No.
Oh, okay, Skipper. I'll be back pretty soon, Mrs. Gregory.
Very well, Jerry.
What's up, Skipper? Okay.
Well, I wonder if anything has happened.
I think not, Mother. Just some little task the skipper has for Jerry.
What were you and Jerry discussing?
We were speaking of the probable conditions at Euclidia.
And neither of you looked very happy when I came in. You think they're in danger?
I did not say that, Mother.
No. None of us dare to say it. But everyone is thinking it.
There is nothing we can do about it.
That's what worries me. If there were only a few moves we could make, anything to occupy our minds, to give us something to do.
No, Mother, you cannot help by worrying.
Oh, I know that. But it doesn't keep me from worrying.
Bradford to Gregory.
But don't you do not see that it's...
Wait, Joan, I think I hear the radio.
Can you hear me?
It's Tex. Hello, Tex. Pat calling. Hello, Tex.
Hello, Pat. How's everybody?
Oh, we're all right, just plowing along.
Everything running on schedule?
McLeod says we're doing a little better than schedule.
Fine. Keep it up and don't worry about us.
What have you been able to do?
We're riding easily on the water, just above the airlock.
No trouble?
Not a bit.
How are your provisions and fuel?
More than enough to last until you arrive.
Have you any special instructions for
Not
us?
at the moment. But keep the radio open on this wavelength and have someone with it at all times.
We would have done that. Are you sure that no one escaped before you got there?
No chance. The submarine locks are still magnetized shut, and we're watching the airlock in the surface chamber.
Is Elaine sure that there is no other means of escape from the island?
Positive. Don't worry about anything. Just keep coming our way, and we'll be waiting for you.
Thanks, Tex. You've been so wonderful through all this, and it's my fault we ever started it.
Think nothing of it. Well, I'd better save our batteries. Good luck, all. See you later.
Goodbye, Tex, and good luck to you both.
It would seem they are doing well, Mother.
Yes, and I suppose it's true. But I'm afraid I won't rest much until we reach there.
This is only our first night on the water. You must not worry at this early date.
Mrs. Gregory.
Yes, Mac, what is it?
May I have a word with you?
Why, of course you may come in.
Thank you.
Come right over here and sit down. I'd like to stay near the radio as much as possible.
How do you do, Miss Joan?
You are wearing a very sad expression, Mr. McLeod.
Sorry, I am for that. But the truth of the matter is that I have something which is not resting easy on my mind.
Trouble, McLeod?
It may be, and then again, it may not be.
Well, what is it?
How important is it that we keep up the speed we're now making?
Well, it may mean everything, Mac. The captain and Elaine are drifting practically helpless on the water down there, and they'll never be really safe until we arrive.
Then it would seem that we must keep it up.
Yes. But why not?
Well, to tell you the truth, Mrs. Gregory, the motors are acting none too good.
The motors?
Aye.
The motors of this boat are defective?
I wouldn't say that they were defective, but they are being badly overworked, and I'm none too sure how much of it they'll stand.
But speed means everything, Mac. We're doing far too slowly as it is.
I won't argue about that, but the boat was designed to make 16 knots, and she's now making 21.
16 knots? 5 knots less?
Aye.
Well, it's out of the question, Mac. Tex and Elaine figured that with good luck they'd be able to hold out for 6 days, possibly a few hours more than that. But to reduce our speed 5 knots would mean adding at least 2 full days to our run.
Aye, it would that.
We haven't any such margin as that. Keep the motors wide open and take a chance.
We'll be no good to the captain if we break down short of our goal.
We'll be no more good to him if we're too late getting there.
Right you are, and I'm glad to hear you want it that way. I would have said as much myself had I been in charge.
You are in charge of those engines, Mac. And your job is to get us just as far as you can, as fast as you can. I'll be responsible beyond that.
Good for you. Well, I'll get on back to the engine room and keep me eye on those motors.
Is Jerry in the engine room?
Aye. We sent for the lad to tell him what was happening, so he would help you make up your mind.
Well, I don't need any help. But I would like to know what Jerry's opinion was.
Well, he said to run this thing until the motors fell out of it, and then we'd row it the rest of the way.
Oh, good for Jerry. Oh, Mac.
Aye.
We just talked to the captain on the radio.
And what's the news?
None. They arrived safely, and now all they can do is just lie there and wait for us.
But they did arrive there. Well, I'll get on back, and I'll send Jerry in here if you want him.
I wish you would.
Then I will. And then I'll get all my time to keeping this coffee grinder turning over.
Well, Joan, that isn't so good, is it?
I would not think too much of that, Mother. Mr. McLeod is an engineer. He is a lover of fine machinery, and he would be inclined to exaggerate the condition of the motors.
I hope so. But whether that's the case or not, we'll keep up every bit of speed we can make from now on.
And now I think you should have some rest.
I know I should. And I'm going to be sensible and try to get some, as soon as Jerry comes back.
And Jerry and I will remain with the radio.
No, dear. You'll come and rest with me. Jerry won't mind standing by the radio alone.
But, Mother, I do like to be near Jerry. He talks so much and says so little that it is very restful.
Possibly. But even so, I want you to come into our cabin and lie down.
Hey, was McLeod just in here?
Yes, Jerry. He came to see Mother about the engines.
What did he tell you, Mrs. Gregory?
He seemed to be worried as to how well the motors would stand our present speed.
Yeah, well, that's what he told me, too. But he's worrying too much about nothing.
Are you sure?
Well, sure, I'm sure. The old skipper was an engineer for a long time, and he said those motors would stand running at full speed as long as we wanted to run them.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Now, Jerry, if you'll take over the radio, Joan and I'll try to get a little sleep.
Oh, sure, Mrs. Gregory. I'll take over.
Joan and I'll relieve you on the morning watch.
But, gee, you don't need to get up then. Well, I can put one of the crew in here when I get sleepy.
No, Jerry. I prefer that we three handle all messages from text. Johnson would do, of course, but I've asked him to spend all his time in the pilot house.
That is advisable. When we are trying to maintain top speed through all conditions, a great deal depends on our navigator.
Oh, Johnson's plenty good.
He certainly is. Now, Jerry, if
well,
you'll
Mrs. Gregory, can I have Joan stay here with me for just a few minutes, huh?
I don't see why not, but I don't see why either.
Oh, I just wanted to talk to her about it.
Oh, please, Mother.
Well, very well. Don't stay more than a few minutes, though, Joan. I want you to get as much rest as possible.
I will not be long, Mother.
Good night, Jerry, and call me if you hear from Tex.
I bet I will, Mrs. Gregory. Good night.
What did you want, Jerry?
I want to talk to you.
So you said.
Yeah, I think it's important.
What is it?
Well, McLeod is really worried about those engines, and he's right.
But, Jerry,
I know. I said everything was going to be all right just to make your mother feel good. Those engines are liable to quit any time at this speed.
Then we could not help the captain, and our position would be hopeless.
Well, that's the idea, and there's only one thing we can do if we get close enough to do it. Radio the captain to get away from that place and fly back to the boat. It'd be safer if we were all together.
But the Euclideans would escape.
Sure, and when they escape, they'll come after us.
Oh, but Jerry, we must not allow that to happen.
I know that as well as you do. And I took a chance and told McLeod about my plan. He's going to do it, and your mother will never know the difference.
Jerry, you are going to trick Mother?
Oh, we've got to, Joan. Or we haven't got a chance to save the captain or do anything else. McLeod is going to cut the engines to 18 knots an hour, and we mustn't let your mother find it out.
"4,000 miles from Los Angeles, a small rocket plane drifts on the surface of the water. 400 miles from Los Angeles, a small passenger vessel races southward at its none-too-good full speed. On the boat, Mrs. Gregory, Jerry, and Joan are waiting patiently in the radio room for news of Captain Bradford. But the captain and his companion are a little too busy to be sending any radio messages right now. When the girl submarine commander, who has joined the Gregory party, and Tex Bradford landed their stolen rocket plane on the position directly above Euclidia, they found that the Euclideans had made one unsuccessful attempt to escape and were planning another. In the rocket plane, the girl sits alone, looking anxiously into the water, down into the mysterious depths which conceal the underwater city of Euclidia.
Give me your hand here, Captain Bradford. No, do not attempt to remove your helmet in the water. Come aboard.
Well, that was quite a dive with only a helmet.
It was remarkable. Did you descend deeply enough for your purpose?
I sure did. Planted 2 bottles of that solvent of mine where they won't even dare to touch one of the submarine locks, much less open one.
That is splendid, Captain. Now I will not need to use more of my limited supply of magnetic bombs.
Good thing. We may have other uses for those little gadgets.
Do you wish to suspend your solvent over the surface lock at this time?
That's not what I'm sure. Finding these glass globes full of the solvent is a good deal like laying a mine. It's no fun to have to go down there and pick them up ourselves.
They are set to break very easily, are they not?
Yes, if they contact anything metallic. Naturally, I couldn't have them going off every time a fish swam into them, but I hung them where they would be touched by the leading edge of the lock gate the moment it started to move.
And at the surface lock, the procedure would be the same?
Yeah, just about. Though I think I put the bottles where they'd have to strike them to turn the valve. Without the valve to flood the lock, they can't use it.
Very good. Except, as you have noted, in an emergency, we might have to use that lock to enter Euclidia.
That's the trouble. We couldn't get any more than he could get out. Of course, I could try getting the solvent loose without breaking both bottles, but it wouldn't be any too easy.
I will do as you say.
Have to risk it, I guess. If we don't bottle them up while we have a chance, they'll finally get desperate enough to come out in spite of the flood that will pour in there. And some of them will make it.
Surely enough of them to cause trouble for us.
More important than that, enough water would get in there to drown everyone else in the colony. We want to do this without hurting anyone if we can.
Then I suggest we place your solvent to guard that airlock immediately.
Will it use all our gas to taxi over there?
Almost, but we have little choice.
Okay, let's go.
Very well. In a few seconds, we will drift over the location.
Well, don't worry about using the gas to hold us there. I'll take this line down with me. If you drift a little, I can get back easy enough.
I will hand the solvent to you after you are in the water, as I did before.
That's safest. Those 2 bottles ever banged together and broke, that stuff would eat a hole through this boat before we could move.
We are practically over the lock now.
Okay, I'll get out. Then you hand me the bottles.
Will you secure this line about your waist?
Maybe I'd better at that.
We might run into a little surprise of some kind down there. They could be watching us, you know.
I presume they are, but I think you are in no danger from that. Everyone on Euclidean knows of your solvent, and they realize that any accident to you would flood the colony.
I hope they do realize it. Well, here I go. Wait a second until I get this line trailing freely in the water now. Okay. Pass out the bottles one at a time.
Here is the smaller one.
Got it?
And here is the larger.
Fine. Now keep this door open. Once I'm down, feel this line and keep it fairly tight. If I give you 2 quick ones, use some gas dragging me away from there. Don't wait to try and pull me in.
I understand perfectly, Captain. Here is your helmet.
These little helmets are pretty good at that. I'll make it as quick as I can.
Patricia Gregory to Captain Bradford. Hello, Tex. Waiting for your report. Patricia Gregory to Captain Bradford. Hello, Tex. Patricia Gregory to Tex Bradford. Hello, Tex. Waiting for your report. Can you hear me? Hello, Tex. Calling as you requested. Can you hear me?
Elaine Raleigh to Gregory boat. Call you later. Working now. Call you later. That is all.
I will wait for your call.
The captain should now be coming up. All is not well with him. There. 2 sharp jerks on the line. I will pull him to safety.
I'm all right, Elaine. Be with you in a minute.
I will help you with the line, Captain. Did you lose your helmet?
No. I took it off. Be all right in a minute.
Let me have your hand.
Okay, here I come. Oh, boy. Thanks.
Were you underwater long without your helmet?
Just about as long as I could hold my breath. Seemed like half a day, but I suppose it was about a minute.
You are very cold, Captain. This night air with that slight breeze and your wet clothes.
No, I'm all right.
You will go into the rear compartment and dress yourself in dry clothes immediately.
But we've got work to do. I heard those Euclideans say
What
that...
you heard them say can wait. I will be in a most unpleasant position if you become ill.
I guess you're right. No time. Look over there.
Captain, the surface of the water is disturbed over a large area.
Right, and that's what I heard them talking about when I took off my helmet to put my ear against the wall of that lock.
What is happening?
They're raising the island again.
Raising the island?
That's what they're doing.
If that happens, we are powerless.
Just about, as far as I can see. How long will it take them to get that thing above water?
The island was accidentally disabled and partially flooded during that artificial volcanic eruption. They will have to raise it very slowly. I would say 300 seconds before the ceiling of the island could possibly reach the surface.
That water's moving around a lot over there now.
Maybe nearer the surface than I calculated. I am sure, however, that it will take 300 seconds to bring the floor of the island above the surface, after we see the tops of the surface chambers.
And in 5 minutes, we've got to figure how to capture 300 people with a dozen exits to safety and all the arms and ammunition on Euclidia. And we've got just 2 little bottles of solvent.
I have a desperate plan, Captain. Will you risk it with me?
I'll try anything.
Then call your boat quickly. Tell them what's happening.
What good will that do?
Our plan will probably fail. It is only fair to warn them what to expect.
Right. Bradford to Gregory boat. Bradford calling Gregory boat. Hello? Hello? I don't get them.
Try it again. And hurry. The island is rising.
Bradford calling the Gregory boat. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Calling Gregory boat. Hello. Hello. Bradford calling Gregory boat. Hello. Can you hear me?
It's Tex. Yes, Jerry. Answer him at once.
Bradford to Gregory boat. This is a hurry up. Answer at once.
Hello, Tex. Jerry Hall on Gregory boat to Captain Bradford. Go ahead, Tex. Go ahead.
Get all of this and get it quick, kid. We're going to have trouble. The island is being raised again.
Jerry, the island.
Yeah, they're raising it.
Did you get that?
Oh, Jerry, what is it? Wait, Mother.
Yes, Tex. I got it. Raising the island.
Right. Elaine says we've got about 5 minutes to plan some way to stop them. If we don't, well, you're going to be running into trouble when you get here.
What are you going to do?
Let me take it, Jerry. Hello, Tex. Can we do anything?
Don't know what it would be. They're raising the island, and it looks hopeless.
We'll keep coming, Tex. Full speed ahead. Oh, Tex, we'll help if we get there in time.
Afraid you won't make it, Pat, but hold it. Hold it a minute.
Tex! Tex, what happened? Tex!
No use, Mrs. Gregory. I heard his set cut out.
There was water. I know I heard rushing water.
Yes, Mother, but we can do nothing.
We'll see if you can find anything wrong with this radio set, Jerry.
Oh, I'll try, Mrs. Gregory, but the trouble's on the other end.
And we can't do a thing to help them.
Guess not. And they're raising that magic island again.
I thought the island was destroyed accidentally in that eruption.
Perhaps they had a reason for allowing us to believe that.
Jerry, is the set all right?
It's perfect, Mrs. Gregory. Tex just quit sending, that's all.
John, run and get Mr. Johnson. Have him turn the wheel over to the quartermaster. Get him in here at once.
Yes, Mother. I will go at once.
And Jerry.
Yes, Mrs. Gregory?
Get the engineer and the skipper. Send them to me as fast as you can.
But what will you do?
Oh, I'll stay with this radio. Get those men in here.
But I will, as quickly as I can, Mrs. Gregory. Hey, Joan, wait a minute.
I am in a hurry, Jerry.
I know it, but wait a minute.
But, Jerry, Mother told me to hurry and send Mr. Johnson to her.
Yeah, and I'm after the skipper and McLeod the engineer, but a couple of seconds won't hurt anything.
What is it?
Well, I didn't want to say anything in front of your mother, but this looks mighty bad. Well, we'll never get there in time to rescue Tex and Elaine.
I feel that too, Jerry. Is there nothing we can do?
Not a blamed thing from here. If we were in 500 miles of that blamed magic island, we could try for it with this little plane lashed to the deck. But 4,000 miles, no chance.
Then if you are so helpless, why did you stop me? I should be completing my mother's orders.
Well, I've got a crazy plan, if you'll help me with it.
I will do anything.
Well, this won't help the captain a bit.
Oh, but Jerry...
Wait till I finish. It won't help the captain, but it will help your mother a little. Keep her from worrying for a while, and that'll be something.
Oh, yes, Jerry. If we can help Mother maintain her peace of mind, we will be accomplishing something.
Right, and here it is. Now, there's a little portable transmitter, a pack outfit in Texas cabin on this boat.
But what good will a radio do?
Will you wait till I finish this?
Yes, Jerry.
Well, as soon as I send Mac and the skipper to your mother. Hey, wait a minute. Here's the skipper now. Hey, skipper.
Aye.
Mrs. Gregory wants you and McLeod in the radio shack right away. Will you please tell Mac?
Aye.
And hurry it up?
Aye.
Now, your message to Johnson can wait a minute. Here's what I'll do. The minute those men are out of sight, and you get Johnson in the radio shack, come right into Texas cabin. I'm going in there right now and set up the pack transmitter.
What will you do with it?
Well, you can sound like Elaine, can't you?
Not very well, I am afraid, Jerry. I have never learned to speak easily, as you do.
All right, I'll fix that, too. I'll fix the microphone so your voice will sound pretty bad. Mr. Gregory won't be able to tell who it is. Now, I want you to pretend to be Elaine. You're sending your mother a message as if Elaine was the
sender. But what can I say?
Oh, anything. It doesn't matter. Just so your mother thinks Tex and Elaine are still afloat and doing all right. You can say that everything is all right, only that you'll be too busy to talk for a few hours.
Excellent, Jerry. I will say that the captain and I are too busy for radio communication, but all is well, and we will send further information when possible.
Ah, now you've got it. Hurry and send Johnson to your mother. Then run for Texas cabin, and the minute you get there, we'll call this boat, and you can cheer up your mother.
Some things are better than others, but we should never say that anything is wrong, that it has no value. That's not true. There are things that are wrong. Yes, some things are just plain wrong. No rightness about them. Atomic war is one of those things. If we get started on real atomic war, you see, ordinary war destroys men. Atomic war can destroy humanness by producing mutations that aren't human. But there's another thing that's wrong, too. And that's the wrongness of fooling yourself. Not merely others, but fooling yourself. And that's tonight's story.
And you say the annual budget of this institution is $8 million, Dr. Hawley?
That's right, Senator Bryan. $8 million a year for the care and feeding of...
The freaks, Doctor?
Oh, we try never to think of them as freaks, Senator, and never to speak of them that way. Some of them have unusually sensitive hearing.
Yes, but they are...
Well, they're mutants, Senator. Genetic sports created by radioactive fallout. You might say they're martyrs to the criminal stupidity of the 20th century.
And is it compulsory for a mutant to live in an institution like this? I confess I'm not completely familiar with the legal aspect.
Compulsory? No, Senator. It's not compulsory. But it's often simpler for a mutant to live within these walls than out there in the world at large.
So I can understand that.
80% of them have come here voluntarily.
And the rest?
Committed by relatives who couldn't stand the sight of them. But, come, let me show you some of the patients, Senator.
That's Anna over there. You'll notice I didn't bother knocking. Anna doesn't hear sound. When she wants privacy, she just bolts her door.
But what is she doing?
Thinking.
That's all? Just thinking?
Well, that's all she ever does, Senator. She's busy working on a new cosmological theory. Come, Senator. We're disturbing her concentration. Let's try another room. Now, there are many different types of mutations, of course, Senator. Hardly any two are alike. And some of our patients are simply physically deformed. You know, an extra limb, a strange texture of skin, differences like that. But others are more or less normal physically, but have unusual mental abilities. And still others, like Anna here, well, they're both deformed and mentally unusual. Now, in this room, we have a pair of remarkable mutants.
Dr. Hawley, what's that coming up the hall toward us?
It's Merrick, one of our more interesting patients.
You let them wander around the hall?
This isn't a prison, Senator. Hello there, Merrick. Where are you heading?
I'm taking a little walk, Dr. Hawley.
This is Senator Bryan. He's paying us a visit here today. He's on the Senate Appropriations Committee.
How interesting. I'm leaving here, Dr. Hawley, right now.
Leaving? But you haven't been out of here in 10 years, Merrick.
I've decided to give the world another chance.
You know the rules, Merrick. If you volunteer to come in as a patient, you have to give 3 months' notice. Now, that way we can prepare you for life in the outside world.
I'm leaving right now, Doctor. 10 minutes after I'm gone, you will forget all about this. You remember there was once a Clyde Merrick here, but according to your records, he was discharged today, September 4th, 2019. You go directly to the recording computer and make the change. And as for you, Senator, whatever your name, you will have no recollection whatever of this conversation. And when you return to Washington, you will do your best to see that Dr. Hawley's appropriation is increased. Is all that clear? Good. Goodbye, Dr. Hawley. Thank you for everything.
Very well, Senator. Let's continue our little tour now. Suppose I let you see our recreational therapy wing now.
It's all right, Doctor. I don't feel very well. Could we sit down and rest for a while? The oddest sensation in my head. It's as if I fell asleep for a few minutes. And a very strange dream. A young man talking to me.
Maybe a little fresh air. It's rather warm in here.
Yes. Fresh air would be good.
Straight through that corridor. It'll take you to the courtyard. I'll be with you in just a moment. I have to stop in at the office and make an entry on a patient's record. Something I've been meaning to do for a long time. I keep forgetting it. I'll be with you in a moment, Senator.
The danger you can't stop is the danger that, by its very nature, keeps you from seeing that it's there or knowing that you've met it. That's a hard one to stop. It camouflages itself so that you don't even know you encountered it.
Driving to town, miss?
Yes. Yes, I am, but I never pick up strangers when I'm driving alone. Why did I stop the car?
You will give me a lift.
Sure. Climb in. Over here next to me.
Thanks. I was sure you'd change your mind.
This is an awfully lonely part of the country to be hitching a ride in. Where are you coming from?
You see that building up on the hill with the brick fence around it?
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Some sort of government hospital, isn't it?
Close. It's a sanctuary for mutants. That's where I was coming from.
From the mutant sanctuary? But are you
a mutant? Do I look like one?
I don't know. You look You look...
How do I look? I look perfectly normal, don't I?
Yes, you look perfectly normal in every way.
Tell me how I look to you.
You're tall, blonde, blue-eyed, broad-shouldered, nice smile.
You'd say I was good-looking?
Yes. Yes, I'd say you were quite handsome.
Thank you. What's your name?
Lisa Roberts. You?
My name is Clyde Merrick.
Oh, you must work at the sanctuary then.
Yes, that's right. I work there. This is my afternoon off, and I thought I'd hitch a ride into town for some fun.
Well, you're lucky I stopped for you. I'm going all the way into town. And you know, it's funny, too. I never usually stop for strangers. Tony says I shouldn't.
Oh, who is Tony?
My fiancé.
You're going to get married, then?
That's what having a fiancé usually means. Yeah, we're getting married in December. Going for a long cruise on our honeymoon.
What do you do, Lisa?
Do? Oh, I'm a dancer. Maybe you've seen me on TV. I'm usually on every Saturday night. Not that anyone ever remembers the girl from the chorus.
I don't look at TV much, I'm afraid. Is this Tony of yours a dancer, too?
Yes, he's the leading man of the show.
You love him very much, don't you? You could never think of marrying anyone else.
You do talk strangely sometimes. I guess it's because you're around those crazy mutants all the time. Of course I love him very much. Well, what do you think?
How do you feel about mutants, Lisa?
Just the way everyone else does, I suppose.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I feel sort of pity for them. But still, pity and all makes me feel creepy to think about people with two heads and all.
Well, none of them have two heads, Lisa. That particular mutation doesn't survive to adulthood. Most of the really strange ones die off the first few weeks of life.
No, even so, I've seen pictures of them. Oof. It's a good thing they keep themselves cooped up in their sanctuaries. Good for them and good for us.
But sometimes they leave the sanctuaries. They try to live like normal people.
But they aren't normal people.
Sometimes they can convince others that they are normal. We can be very convincing, Lisa.
We?
I'm a mutant, Lisa. I'm casting a mental projection that hides my true appearance.
Oh, no. Leave me alone. Get out of the car.
Oh, slow down. I won't hurt you. I'm very friendly. I'm a lonely person, Lisa, and you're so beautiful. You're not afraid of me, are you?
I'm not afraid of you.
Of course you aren't. You like me. You like me very much. I'm tall and broad-shouldered, and you think I'm handsome.
Very handsome.
More handsome than your fiancé, Tony.
Of course.
You're wondering what you ever saw in Tony, aren't you? You're starting to forget you ever had any liking for him at all.
I can't imagine how I could ever let myself think I cared for him.
You're forgetting him rapidly. You don't even know who Tony is now, but you know who I am, don't you?
Yes. Yes, of course.
And you love me. You've only known me for a few minutes, but despite that, you've fallen deeply in love with me. Haven't you, Lisa?
Yes. I love you, Clyde.
And I love you, Lisa. Will you marry me, Lisa?
Of course, Clyde. Yes, I'll marry you, darling.
Of course, it isn't really Clyde Merrick's fault. He's not responsible for what he is. He was made that way by the genetic mutations caused by too much atomic warfare. It isn't his fault. But that doesn't make him tolerable, does it? He is an intolerable menace.
Oh, that was a wonderful meal, darling. You know, I don't know how you did it. All those people waiting in line for tables, and the head waiter just took you right over to the spot.
I have ways of being persuasive.
Oh, I see. You love me?
Of course, Lisa.
We'll be married tomorrow and go far, far away. Rent a cabin somewhere and stay there for months and months and just read and fish and sleep. Oh, it sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful. Just the two of us.
I can't wait.
You're not worried about Tony, are you?
Tony? I don't know anyone named Tony, do I?
No, you don't know anyone named Tony. Come on, let's get out of here.
If you say so, darling. Where will we go?
Your car. We'll drive out into the country. You can't see the stars here in town.
You haven't paid the check.
It doesn't matter. You see them trying to stop me?
Well, no, but
I can eat for free anytime. You see? They're smiling goodbye to us.
Drive anywhere?
Take the road you were on this morning when you met me.
Of course.
Lisa.
What is it, dear?
Do you really love me? Really and truly love?
I love you, Clyde.
No. No, you don't. Not at all.
Oh, whatever do you mean?
It's no good. It isn't real. It's just another fraud.
I don't understand.
You don't love me. Not really. I've made you think you do, and you say you do, but that isn't enough. Every time I'd kiss you, every time I'd hold you in my arms, I'd know you were nothing but a puppet playing the role I made you play. Do you call that love?
Clyde, you're talking nonsense.
I wish I were. I thought I might be able to find some fulfillment outside the sanctuary, but I was wrong. What good is it all? I can fool everyone. Everyone except myself. Lisa, tell me again. How do I look to you?
Well, tall, very good-looking, blonde hair, kind of wavy, regular features.
In other words, as handsome as a video star. All right, stop the car.
Stop it? Why?
Because I want you to.
Well?
Ever since I left the sanctuary this morning, I've been projecting a false appearance. It's a power of mine. Something special I have, thanks to the otherwise unkind providence. I'm going to turn that projection off now, Lisa. Let you have a look at me as I really am. As I look without the benefit of hypnotic trickery.
Oh, no! Oh, no! Hideous. That face, those eyes, the skin.
Everything's all right now. You're starting to forget. In a moment, you'll have forgotten it. There. All better. How do you feel?
All right, Clyde.
Good. But you see, Lisa, I was wrong. I thought if I left the sanctuary at last, disguising myself as one of the normals, I could be happier. I could... But it would be a synthetic happiness. You can't live on nothing but cotton candy, Lisa. Start the car.
Yes, Clyde.
Drive up the hill to your left. And that's it, right up to those big gates. All right. Stop here. This is the sanctuary. I'm back home now. Home to stay where I belong.
Clyde, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what's happening.
You're going to turn your car around and drive home, Lisa. You're going to go home and go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have no recollection of today at all. You'll simply have lost a day. And you'll marry your Tony, and you'll be happy with him. Is that clear, Lisa?
Yes, Clyde.
All right now. You're beginning to forget me already. Say goodbye to me, Lisa.
Goodbye, Clyde.
That's right. No, don't kiss me. Back home again. Goodbye, Lisa.
The saving grace in Clyde Merrick was that while he could fool all those around him, he didn't fool himself.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here's an important message.
If you are one of the millions of young Americans anxious to actually get your hands on some war work, listen carefully. 25 years ago, during the First World War, the American Red Cross organized a junior division so that young folks in grade school and high school could actively contribute to the national war effort. As soon as the organization was announced, fellows and girls all over the country joined and put their combined efforts into activities that earned the gratitude of our fighting forces. Well, the time has come when once again your country needs your help. As President Roosevelt said in a letter to the American Red Cross recently, the needs of our nation at war are great. The American Junior Red Cross, because it has already proved its ability, can be counted on to assist greatly toward meeting those needs. Now, some of you may ask, what can I do to help win this war as a member of the Junior Red Cross? Well, some of you can actively assist the Senior Red Cross in their canteen work. Others can make things for soldiers and sailors in your whole economics and industrial classes. And there are other services such as collecting books, entertaining hospital patients, gathering wearing apparel for refugees and for homeless children in Nazi-occupied countries, raising money for the relief of children in war zones, making up gift boxes for soldiers, joining first aid units, and many, many other things that come within the scope of the Junior Red Cross. So don't waste time. Decide now to roll up your sleeves and pitch in to help America win this war. Ask your teacher tomorrow about the Junior Red Cross and see that your whole class joins as a unit. As an active member of the Junior Red Cross, you'll be proud to know that your time and your effort actively helps America to knock out the Nazis and the Japs.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Superman, in the guise of Clark Kent, star reporter, Lois Lane, girl reporter, editor Perry White of the Daily Planet, and young Jimmy Olsen, are now in the Hudson Bay region of northern Canada, where they're investigating the mystery of the Headless Indian, a ghostly apparition that, according to legend, brings death to anyone who sees it 3 times. Sebastian Beauvais, owner of the hunting lodge at which our friends are staying, has already seen the Headless Indian twice. One of the guests at the lodge is a man who calls himself Niles Graham, but who is actually the sinister character known as the Laugher, who has vowed to kill our friends, including Kent. The Laugher doesn't know, of course, that Kent is actually Superman. Well, yesterday we heard how Perry White and Jimmy Olsen went off into the woods together early in the morning to do some hunting with a camera. Suddenly, a huge grizzly bear appeared before them on the trail and came lunging for them, hairy arms extended, its huge mouth wide open, its yellow fangs dripping. And just then, Perry White realized he had forgotten to load the rifle he was carrying. Listen.
The rifle, Jim. I've got to load it. It's empty.
Leaping mackerel, Mr. White. What do we do?
Run, Jim. Start running.
No, I'm staying with
Will
you.
you do as I say? Run for your life.
No.
I'll hold the bear off long enough for you to get away.
No, sir. I'm staying here.
Jim, in the name of heaven. Oh, never mind. It's too late now. I'll have to use my hunting knife.
You can't do it. Look, he'll kill us
If
both.
you won't run, then get behind me, Jim.
Here he comes. Look at his mouth. His mouth.
The huge grizzly, eyes blazing, fangs dripping, carries Perry White to the ground with the impact of his rushing body. Over and over in the snow they rolled, the long, thin blade of the hunting knife glinting in the sun as White drives it home again and again. Meanwhile, back at the hunting lodge, unaware of the danger his friends are in, Superman, in his disguise of Clark Kent, sits at a table in the dining room and is about to begin breakfast.
As soon as I finish breakfast, I better go up and see how Mr. White is doing. Oh, hello, Lois. Well, up early, I see.
Hello, Clark. Yes, I thought I'd get up early and go for a walk in the woods.
Hey, great idea. I'll go with you.
Well, maybe Mr. White and Jimmy would like to go along, too.
After what happened last night? Oh, I forgot. You don't know what happened last night.
What?
You don't know about the headless Indian and the chief almost getting killed.
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh, sit down. Have some breakfast. I'll tell you all about it.
Please do. Headless Indians. What in heaven's name do you mean?
You have some breakfast?
No, thanks. I'll wait. Go ahead with what happened last night.
Well, after you went to bed, we all sat around the fireplace in the main room.
Yes?
Sebastian finally decided to tell us why he had gotten us up here, why it was so urgent.
Yes, go on.
Well, it seems there's a legend hereabouts that concerns a headless Indian who rides the forest at night on a huge white horse. And it said that whoever sees the headless Indian 3 times will die. Sebastian has seen the headless Indian twice.
What?
And almost saw him for the 3rd time last night.
Oh, Clark, now this is stupid.
Well, that's what I thought until I saw the headless Indian.
You saw?
I certainly did. First we heard the cry of a wolf, and then the Indian, yowling like a banshee, came riding across the ridge there in front of the lodge.
How could you see him in the dark?
Well, last night was pretty clear with a full moon. And besides, this Indian is not only headless, but he glows in the dark like an incandescent lamp.
Oh, Clark, you're kidding.
On my word of honor. That's how Mr. White came to get hurt. He and I set out to follow the tracks of the horse in the snow.
Yes?
Well, we followed them to a place called the Devil's Canyon. And as we approached, we noticed that the hoof prints in the snow were getting lighter.
Getting lighter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how could that be?
I don't know. It seemed as if the horse's hoofs were barely touching the snow. And when we reached the edge of the canyon, we found that the hoof print stopped entirely.
Which meant that the horse either plunged over, carrying the headless Indian with him, or just took off into the air.
Exactly.
Now, listen, Clark, you don't believe that.
Well, I believe it, and I don't believe it.
Well, that's silly. How can you believe a thing and not believe it all at the same time?
Remember the tiny men?
Oh, yes, I
Well,
do.
I told you the tiny men existed, and yet they didn't exist. That's exactly what I mean about this headless Indian and his flying horse.
Oh, I see. You mean somebody's playing tricks?
Exactly.
Why?
Well, we'll get to that later. First, let me finish my story. While White and I were standing on the edge of the canyon, a shot was fired from a rifle somewhere in the forest behind us. And the bullet grazed the chief's temple.
Great heavens.
Oh, he wasn't seriously hurt, though. I was afraid he was until I got him back here. I flew back with him as quickly as I could.
What did you say?
I said I hurried back with him as quick as I...
Monsieur Kent?
Oh, yes, George. I'm through. You may remove the dish.
Très bien, monsieur. It is not for this reason I speak.
Oh, something you want to tell me?
Oui. This morning, very early, Monsieur White and the young boy, Jimmy, they leave to go hunting. They asked me to tell you they come by breakfast.
Great Scott.
Clark, for heaven's sake, why did you jump up? Look, you've knocked over practically everything on the table.
I just thought of something. I've got to go after those two.
What for?
Well, it's not safe in those woods.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Clark, sit down. What could you do for them anyway?
There's nothing to worry, Monsieur Kent. They have the damn rifle. No harm will come. Monsieur Graham, he come in only 20 minutes ago with 2 fine partridge. Nothing happened to him.
Mr. Graham was hunting this morning also?
Oui. He leaves short time after Monsieur White and Jimmy.
Lois, you'll have to excuse me. I feel a little nervous. I've got some medicine in my room that I take when my nerves... I'll be right back.
With all the silly, weak... Well, that's Clark.
I am sorry your friend is upset.
No, that's his natural state, George. How about some breakfast for me?
Oui. What would you like?
Perhaps I might have the privilege of ordering Miss Lane's breakfast for her.
Mr. Graham, good morning.
May I sit with you?
Please do. I'd love it.
Thank you. George, I think French pancakes will go especially well this morning for Miss Lane and myself. And some toast, lightly done, golden, crispy brown. Comprenez-vous?
Oui, Monsieur Perrin. Oui.
Mm-hmm. Well, Miss Lane, it's indeed a pleasure. I didn't expect to find you at breakfast at this early hour.
It's hardly early for you. I understand you've been out hunting.
Yes, fairly good luck. Managed to get a brace of partridge. We'll have them for lunch if you'll join me.
I'd love it. You know, Mr. Graham, you're a fascinating man.
Dear me. It is rather early for compliments.
I didn't mean it exactly as a compliment. I meant that, well, your appearance, for one thing.
I'm afraid that counts against me. How can a man be fascinating when he's the unfortunate possessor of 3 chins and 200 pounds of weight he could well do without?
I don't know. Somehow in your case it doesn't matter. You're well-tailored, so I must confess, if you don't mind, you do sort of cover yourself with diamonds.
Yes. I know it's vulgar. But I have a weakness for precious jewels. You'll overlook it, I hope.
Oh, of course.
Ever done any hunting, Miss Lane?
No, never have.
Would you like to?
Oh, I don't think so. I couldn't bear to kill anything.
That's quite understandable, of course. However, you have no objection to shooting it as sport, and nothing more than that, I trust. I mean to say mere target shooting.
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, then suppose you and I go out after breakfast and take a couple of guns with us.
Oh, no. Matter of fact, I've never even fired a gun.
Then I'll teach you.
No, really, I don't think I'd...
Oh, come, Miss Lane. You're not afraid of me, are you?
Well, to tell the truth, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know, I detect a look in your eye that... I sound like a schoolgirl now.
Then you will come. Target shooting's a great deal of fun. You can aim at trees and twigs and rocks and that sort of thing. You'll enjoy it, believe me.
All right, I'll come. Don't let me get in your way, will you?
That's exactly what I want you to do, to get in my way.
That was a queer thing to say. And you had that look in your eye.
Schoolgirl?
What's the matter?
Through the window there. I thought I saw a flash of red and blue against the snow.
Red and blue against the snow?
Yes. And for a moment I thought...
Thought what?
Do you believe in Superman, Miss Lane?
Yes, I do. Why are you laughing, sir?
Just a private joke, Miss Lane. A private little joke of my own.
A flash of red and blue against the snow? Yes, for Superman is winging his way through the forest, following the trail left by Perry White and Jimmy, hoping he'll be in time to save his friends from the Laugher. But this time, it is not the Laugher who threatens their lives. A terrible scene is taking place in the deep vastness of the woods. Still fighting valiantly, though weakly, about to collapse any moment, Perry White, badly clawed and bitten, struggles to hold onto the knife, which is his only defense. Strives to find the strength to keep the monstrous grizzly at bay while Jimmy escapes.
Jim, run, boy, run. Save yourself. I'm finished.
No, I won't. I can't. I'm going to stick with you.
Don't be a fool, boy.
Mr. White.
Oh.
Mr. White. No. Mr. White.
What a spot Jimmy is in. And what about Perry White? Remember, too, as Superman speeds toward the scene, the Laugher, masquerading as Niles Graham, is preparing to do away with Lois by pretending to take her hunting. What will happen? Be sure to hear tomorrow's episode and listen in every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Tune in and follow The Adventures of Superman.
Yes, don't fail to hear the next exciting episode in The Adventures of Superman tomorrow. And don't forget what else you're going to do tomorrow. First thing in the morning, make it your business to ask your teacher about joining the Junior Red Cross. Tell her how much you want to assist actively in America's war effort, how you want to give up some of your playtime and actually do something constructive to help win this war. Remember, your country at war needs your help to knock out the Nazis and the Japs and to preserve the American way of life. So join the Junior Red Cross now. Roll up your sleeves and pitch in with a will. For complete information regarding the Junior Red Cross and its many, many activities, just ask your teacher to contact your local Red Cross office.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird! It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. This is Mutual.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky!
It's a bird! It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another world who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. But before we join Superman, here is an important message.
Fellows and girls, every day the city, state, and national offices of civilian defense organizations are swamped with letters from young people like yourselves. And most of these letters ask, what can I do, what part can I take in the national war effort? The writers of these letters are all too young to join the United States Armed Forces, too young to join any of the numerous home defense groups. And yet they ask, isn't there something we can do? Some of you listening now are no doubt among those who have written these letters. And I'll bet many of you who have not written have thought the same thing. Well, the answer is a very simple one, and here it is. You can do your part in civilian defense. You can help to win this war by buying war-saving stamps regularly. How does that help, you ask? How can my dime or 20 or 40 or 50 cents help to win this war? Well, that's easy, too. For instance, your dime, just 10 cents, will buy 5 .45 caliber bullets that can be used by our soldiers, sailors, or Marines to knock 5 Japs or 5 Nazis out of commission. And believe me, it's going to take a lot of those bullets to knock them all out and win the war. Another thing, 50 cents, which represents 5 10 or 2 25-cent war-saving stamps, will buy enough fuel oil to bring one of our destroyers a full mile closer to the Jap fleet in the Solomon Islands. And you know what happens when our Navy gets close enough to turn on the heat. And here's one more. Every fellow and girl in the United States bought at least 5 10-cent war-saving stamps every day. The amount of money they'd lend to the government would buy enough fighter planes and bombers to blast Hitler's Luftwaffe right out of the air. So remember that each and every dime is important, and that buying war-saving stamps is a very important way to help to win the war. And keep in mind their slogan. Repeat it often to your family and friends. Every time you've got a dime, buy a war-saving stamp.
And now the adventures of Superman. Superman and his companions, editor Perry White, Lois Lane, girl reporter, and Jimmy Olsen, copy boy, are now at a hunting lodge in northern Canada, trying to clear up the weird mystery of the headless Indian, an apparition that has slowly been driving Perry White's friend Sebastian Beauvais out of his mind. Kent knows that Niles Graham, who is also staying at Beauvais' lodge, is the Laugher, a sinister character who is determined to get rid of Kent and his companions. In our last episode, Perry White had been attacked by a ferocious grizzly bear while in the woods with Jimmy. Fighting off the bear with only a hunting knife, he finally collapsed in the snow. As our story opens today, Perry White lies unconscious on the snow-covered ground as the angry bear on its hind legs, its arms outstretched, lumberingly moves toward Jimmy, who is unaware that Superman is on his way. Listen.
What can I do? If only Mr. Kent were here, or Superman. I'll have to run for help. He's coming after me. Superman, help me. Superman.
Glad to, Jim. Glad to.
Superman. Oh,
fainted dead away. Just as well he doesn't see what's going to happen here. Well, sorry to do this to you, old man. And this. And also this. One in the stomach won't do any harm. There, that took all the fight out of you. Now then, I wonder where... Great Scott, there's Mr. White lying in the snow. From the looks of it... Mr. White! Mr. White! Oh, no, it mustn't be. Oh, his pulse, I can still feel it. Oh, but that bear did a thorough job. His clothes are practically torn from his body. His face, his arms and chest... I've got to get him back to the lodge quickly.
Superman.
Nothing to worry about now, Jim. Look here, I've got to get your friend Mr. White back to the hunting lodge. I'll carry him on my back and take you under my arm. You all set?
I'll say.
And here we go. Up, and away!
Streaking through the air, grazing the tops of the tallest pine trees, Superman reaches the hunting lodge in a matter of seconds. He stops at the front door, deposits Jimmy on the hard-packed ground.
There.
You coming in, Superman?
No, I've other things to do. Get Beauvais to look at Mr. White right away. Good luck. Up, and away!
Leaping mackerel, he's gone. I got to get Mr. White inside right away.
Jimmy, what? Mon Dieu. What's happened now?
Mr. White and I got mixed up with a bear. Mr. White tried to fight off the bear.
No, don't explain. I can see what happened. We must get him inside quick. Oh, mon Dieu, c'est terrible, terrible.
I'll give you a hand.
Oui. George, Henri, the medicine kit in my room. Get it quickly. Also warm water, plenty of warm water. There. We put him on this couch. Oh, the bear, he do his work well.
Here comes Mr. Kent from upstairs.
Hello, Jim. Sebastian. What in the world?
Gee, he cannot hear you. Oh, why did I ask him to leave Metropolis and come here? Last night he's almost killed. Today he looks up.
Oh, don't say that. There's still a chance. He still has a pulse.
How do you know?
What? Oh, well, I just assumed. Oh, this is no time for questions. What do you think had better be done?
I am thinking. Yes. It is the only thing to do.
Here is the medicine kit.
George, go back to my room and turn on the shortwave radio.
You are going to speak with Lake Minto Station?
Oui, hurry. Oui.
What's this about a shortwave radio?
I have one in my room. I play chess with my friend Lieutenant Bennett at the Royal Mounted Police Station in Lake Minto.
You play chess with him?
Oui. Open that bottle of iodine. That's it. You must put iodine on these wounds or there will be infection.
Okay.
Yes. Bennett of the Mounties, a great chess player. I, too, love the game. The long winter evening, every night, we play together by radio.
Oh, gosh, how do you do that?
The board is like a checkerboard. And each square have a number. We just call the numbers to each other.
What are you going to do when you get in touch with Bennett?
I'll find out if there is a plane coming in soon. We have got to get Perry to a doctor, and very quickly.
You sure he's that badly hurt?
I have 2, maybe 3 ribs broken. I can do nothing for him. He must have a doctor. Come, we carry him upstairs to bed. My room is across the hall from his, and the radio is there. By the time we get upstairs, the radio will be warm up.
All right, I'll take his feet. You take his head.
No.
Careful on the stairs.
That's right.
Okay. Golly, he looks awful, Mr. Kent. His face is so white. Except for those big claw marks.
Oh, he'll be all right, Jim. He'll be all right, believe me.
His room is just down here.
The radio is ready, Sebastian.
C'est bon. All right, Monsieur Kent, in here.
Right.
Oh, mon Dieu. Was there ever such trouble? All is so peaceful here 1 month ago. Now the headless Indian rides at night, and my friend Perry... All right, leave him on the bed. So, we go across to my room now. I talked to Bennett at the mountain station at Lake Minto.
I have made contact already. Bennett, he waits to speak with you.
Oh, I will throw the key. Hello, Bennett?
Hello, Sebastian. Don't tell me you want to play chess at this hour of the day.
No. Listen to me, my friend, and do not interrupt. I have great trouble here. One of my guests, my dear friend Perry White, he have been bad clawed and bitten by grizzly. We have got to get into Ottawa quick. How soon you expect another plane?
There's a forest patrol plane here now. We'll hold it for you. It'll take you about 2 days to get here. Will your friend last that long?
He will have to.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Where are you going, Mr. Kent?
I thought I heard Mr. White groan. He may be coming too. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, I'll stay here.
White's still out cold in that bed there. This is a job
for Superman. Off with these clothes. So. There. Now to gather him up in my arms. Careful. There we are. Open this window. So. Now, the question is, do I fly him to Lake Minto or straight to Ottawa? Well, it better be Lake Minto. Less questions to answer.
Anyway, I've got to get back to watch Lois and Jimmy. Niles Graham is a dangerous man. Up, and away! Lois and Jimmy must not be left unprotected, says Superman to himself. For the Laugher, or Niles Graham, as he calls himself, means to do away with him. But unknown to the Man of Steel, at the very moment he is carrying Perry White toward Lake Minto at the speed of light, Lois, unsuspecting, is deep in the forest with the Laugher. Listen.
I must say you're doing tremendously well, Miss Lane. Why, you have a better eye with the rifle than I have.
Yes, I did do pretty well with that last shot, didn't I?
You certainly did. Now then, let's see. Ah, good. There's an uncovered stone up ahead there. See if you can hit that.
I can try.
No, wait. Grasp the stock of the gun as firm as you can.
Yeah?
Yet without exerting too much tension.
Oh, I see.
And hold your cheek right against the gun.
Like that?
That's right.
Well, here goes.
Splendid. Beautiful shooting. By George, before the morning's over... Hello. What do we hear?
Oh, they look like footprints in the snow.
Of course. These must be the footprints made by your friends last time when they followed the headless Indian. Yes, see there? The marks of hoofprints.
Oh, I wanted to see that spot where they said the horse either plunged into the canyon or took to the air. Could we follow them?
Certainly. Come along.
I've never followed a trail like this before. This is exciting. Makes me feel like Sherlock Holmes.
Or Mrs. Sherlock Holmes. Oh, there's the canyon ahead, I believe. Yes, that's it, all right. Incidentally, I don't believe that story of Kent's.
What story?
Kent claims that someone fired that shot at White from somewhere back in the woods.
Well?
Anyone who wanted to kill White could have gotten close enough through the thickness of the forest. Close enough to be sure of killing him without being seen.
Someone must have fired the shot. Mr. White was wounded.
Of course, someone fired it. Kent himself.
I don't follow you, Mr. Graham.
I'm convinced it was an accident. Kent slipped while carrying the rifle, and then when the damage was done was afraid to admit his mistake.
Oh, I don't believe that. Clark's, well, he's somewhat of a physical coward, but I don't think he's a moral coward as well.
Maybe you're right. It's wrong of me to think anything like that of Kent. I'll tell you what I'd like to do, though.
What?
You stay here on the edge of this canyon just where White and Kent stood last night. I'll walk back into the woods and then see how close I can get to you without your seeing me.
All right.
It won't take long to do.
Well, don't hurry. We've got all day.
On the contrary, Miss Lane, I like to get these things over with quickly. I'll soon be deep enough in the woods where she can't see me, and then... Now then, let's see. Ah, yes. There she is, peering intently into the woods. She can't see me, but I can see her very plainly. Well, Superman, wherever you may be, here's one of your friends who won't get away. I couldn't see White too well in the darkness last night. But it's daylight now, and I've got a clear view of Miss Lane. Now then, to get her carefully lined up in the sight of my rifle. So. This time I can't miss.
What in the world is going to happen now? Even as the fat, bejeweled Laugher fingers the rifle trigger, Superman, carrying Perry White on his shoulders, is flying in the opposite direction. What can save Lois Lane? Well, there's a big surprise in store for us Monday, so be sure to listen in then, and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Tune in and follow the adventures of Superman.
Well, there goes Superman until Monday. Meanwhile, don't let the weekend go by without buying your share of war savings stamps. And remember what I told you at the beginning of this program, you fellows and girls who are too young to join the armed forces or any of the national defense organizations. You can do your part. You can help win this war by buying war savings stamps regularly. So let's make a pledge right now to buy war savings stamps. Talk it over tonight with Mother and Dad. Ask them to give you a dime every day or even every other day for war savings stamps. And then buy some extra ones out of your regular weekly allowance. See if you can't get your friends to buy war stamps regularly, too. Or why not organize a war savings stamp club right on your block in your neighborhood? Make this your club slogan. Every time you've got a dime, buy a war savings stamp.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Follow the adventures of Superman every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. This is Mutual.
Stand by for Space Cadet in 30 seconds.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Yes, Kellogg's brings you the secret of a more delicious breakfast treat. It's new, it's wonderful. It's Kellogg's Raisin Bran, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. You get plump, tender raisins dipped in honeycomb, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. So try the new fruit and cereal combination. Get Kellogg's Raisin Bran, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And now, Kellogg's Corn Flakes, the cereal that helps you have more punch till lunch, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise shift. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. It is close to midnight when a lone figure in the trim uniform of a space cadet enters a dimly lit street shelter to wait for an air cab. The place is deserted, and as the young man settles himself on one of the benches, he looks at his watch anxiously. After a few moments, a small ferret-faced man sidles in from the street and eyes the cadet furtively.
Oh, did you have a light, mate?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm sorry, I haven't.
Hey, you're from Space Academy, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Cadet Tom Corbett.
Yeah, I thought I recognized the uniform, but I always heard they were pretty strict about letting cadets out on the town.
So I'm on a weekend leave.
Tell me something. You cadet fellas ever get out into space much?
Oh, sure. We go on cruises all the time.
You know, I'm a spaceman myself.
You are?
Uh-huh. Deep spacer. And all the way to Sirius. Ever been that far, Corbett?
No, not yet.
Why don't you go in for a commercial flight in merchant ships? Pays good, and they need experienced hands. Need them bad.
I guess they do, but I want to stay at the academy.
In the old days, if they needed a space hand for a voyage and they couldn't hire one, well, they just grab one.
You mean some of the ships actually Shanghaied crew members?
Now and then, if a fella happened to have special qualifications, like you have, mate.
Hey, what's the... Stop!
Well, mate, I hope they don't wait up for you at Space Academy, because you're going to be missing a long, long time.
Take it easy, lad. Take it easy.
Hey, where am I? And who are you?
I'm Jim Harris. You're aboard the Constellation.
The Constellation? Look, I don't know exactly what happened or how I got here, but I've got to get back to the academy by midnight. Tonight, Sunday.
Sunday?
Oh, what's so funny?
Well, this is already Monday. It's 0700 Earth time.
07. But my leave, I've got to... Say, what happened to my uniform?
What uniform?
My academy uniform. Don't you understand? I'm a space cadet.
Space cadet? Hey, you must have had a worse bump than I thought you had.
Stop stalling. I'm Tom Corbett of Space Academy. Now I want to know who took my uniform and put me in these dungarees, and how did I get here?
Well, if I were you, son, I'd just relax and have a bite of breakfast. You've got work to do.
What are you talking about?
You're a member of this ship's crew. We blasted off last night, and we're headed for deep space.
Great jumping Jupiter. I've been Shanghaied.
That's right. And you might as well make up your mind to one thing. You ain't gonna see Space Academy for a long, long time.
There's action ahead for Tom Corbett, all right. You know, fellas and girls, an exciting adventure is apt to pop any minute around Space Academy.
That's why a space cadet keeps himself supplied with quick energy food. So for morning chow at Space Academy, you can bet there's a box of Kellogg's Corn Flakes on every table.
That's right, all you future space cadets, boys and girls. Morning chow always means Kellogg's Corn Flakes time to us. And how we go for 'em here at Space Academy. The trick is to get to the table before that box is empty. And you don't want to lose any time getting at those Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Let me tell you, they help you make a quick blast-off because Kellogg's Corn Flakes are quick energy food.
You heard what Astro had to say, so tomorrow morning and any morning, pour yourself a big bowl full of those golden sweet, crisp, and tender flakes. You'll be helping yourself to more punch till lunch. More punch till lunch. More punch till lunch with Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
As the rocket ship Constellation hurtles through the cold blackness of space away from Earth, Tom Corbett regains consciousness to find himself clad in space dungarees instead of his cadet uniform, and learns from Harris, a crew member, that he has been shanghaied, and that he is now bound for deep space. Now Tom angrily paces the deck of the crew's quarters.
Listen, Harris, who is the captain of this ship?
A fellow by the name of Pickering. You ever hear of him?
No.
You will.
By the rings of Saturn, he'll hear from me. I'm going to demand that this ship be put back to Earth and this man Dawson arrested.
Hey, now look, son, I feel sorry for you, and that's a fact. But you're in this now, and you won't find any way to get out.
What I will see.
Hey, listen. If there was a way out, don't you think I'd take it myself?
You mean you were Shanghaied, too?
Yeah, more or less. Hey, watch it. This must be Dawson.
All right, you space rats. Turn to.
You're the guy.
What?
You're the one who Shanghaied me.
Huh? What's the matter with this kid, Harris? Acceleration getting him?
Listen, Dawson, you're going to turn this ship back to Earth. You have no right to take me out.
Damp your tubes. Who do you think you're talking to? What's your name, anyhow?
You know my name, Tom Corbett. I'm a space cadet.
Is that right? Well, glad to meet you. My name's Commander Arkwright.
Now listen, Dawson.
You listen, mister. Your information. The papers you signed read George Stevenson, and that name's good enough for me. Now turn to and be quick about it.
I didn't sign any papers. Take me to the captain.
The captain?
Yes, I want to talk to the captain.
Oh, you do?
I've got a right to talk to him.
Hey, look, son, better let it
Let
ride.
him finish, Harris. He'll talk himself right into the bridge.
We'll let the captain decide about that.
Okay, if you're so set on it, I'll take you up to the control deck right now.
Now, that's more like it.
You can have your talk with Captain Pickering. Only don't say I didn't give you fair warning.
Captain Pickering, Dawson committed a crime in bringing me aboard this ship. You've got to take me back.
Lad, I don't like space lawyers on my ship, and I don't like Billy Akers either. Now stow the chatter and get below.
But I'm a space cadet. You've got to take me back.
This is insubordination, mister.
All I'm asking is that you let me contact Commander Arkwright at the Academy. He'll verify my story.
That's enough, Mr. Dawson. Take this man below and put him in the brig. Yes, sir. Come on, you.
No, I'm not leaving the bridge until you let me call the Academy. I'm not going to be a...
Maybe that'll show you who's running this ship. Now, Dawson, take him below and lock him up.
Commander Arkwright here.
Lieutenant Saunders reporting, sir.
Oh, yes, Saunders. Any word on Corbett yet?
No, sir, none.
12 hours over leave. Can't believe this of Corbett. He was always a most efficient cadet. But this is serious.
Yes, sir. Captain Strong has a request to make, sir.
What is it?
Cadets Astro and Manning, Corbett's roommates, are worried about his disappearance. They've asked permission to investigate.
What do they want to do?
They know their roommate's habits, sir. They're sure something happened to him, and they want to check on his activities. Captain Strong requests they be granted permission.
Very well. You may tell Strong they may be relieved of duty for the rest of the day.
Aye, aye, sir.
And you may also tell Captain Strong that when Corbett is found, he will be disciplined severely.
Who's there? Oh, it's me, matey. I brought you some lunch.
Oh, well, thanks, Harris.
You feeling all right, Tom?
Yes, no thanks to the captain, though. Listen, Harris, you said you'd give anything to get off this ship yourself.
Yeah, I would. But you can't buck Pickering and Dawson.
Well, maybe we can. I got a look at the navigation chart when I was on the control deck. On our present course, we crossed the orbit of Venus.
That's no secret. We put in at Venusport for fuel and supplies before blasting off to deep space.
That's our answer, then. We'll be there in a few hours.
Sure we'll be there. And you'll be here, locked in the brig the whole time.
Not if you'll help me.
Help you? How?
When we land at Venusport, watch your chance and slip open the bolts on that door. I'll get out and find the port commander.
Well, then what?
He'll arrest Pickering and Dawson, and the ship won't be given clearance to leave Venus.
Oh, I don't know. If they ever caught me...
As long as you have the run of the ship and keep quiet about it, we can't fail.
All right, Tom, I'll do it.
Good for you. Now take the tray back and act as though nothing has happened.
Yeah, right you are.
Just a minute, Harris.
Mr. Dawson.
Stay right where you are.
I was just going to take this tray back to the galley.
It can wait. You know, Harris, I didn't think you were so stupid.
Stupid, sir?
Didn't you think we'd have the brig rigged with a telecam?
Great galaxy, then you heard every word we said.
Yes, and saw you, too.
Oh, no.
So you were planning to jump ship, Mr. Harris.
No, he wasn't going to desert.
And he was going to help you, which is the same thing. So you two don't leave this brig until we've blasted off from Venus. After that, the captain will have plenty of time to figure out what kind of hooks to throw into you. And believe me, they'll be rough.
Well, Saunders, any report on Corbett yet?
Only one from Captain Strong, sir. He's checked the passenger and crew manifests of every ship that has blasted off since Sunday. Corbett's not on any of them.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. Cadets Manning and Astro request permission to continue their investigation on off-duty hours.
Very well. But I want Corbett's listing changed from overleave to AWOL. Notify all Earth Police to that effect at once. We've got to find him fast.
Give me a hand with this bunk, Harris.
What are you doing, Tom?
Trying to rip it away from the bulkhead. Come on.
Are you crazy? Dawson is probably watching every move we make.
Don't you think I know it? There. I'm getting it loose. Now, come on. Pull.
Okay.
There. And there's the telecam lens. I thought so.
Hey, what are you doing? Tom, you kicked it out.
Of course. Now he can't watch us.
You're out of your mind. That'll bring him running.
Maybe that's what I want him to do.
Those are the braking rockets. We're decelerating for the landing.
I know, which means we've got to work fast. Once we take off from Venus, we might as well be dead.
I'd like to know what you expect to do locked in this brig.
We're not going to be locked in here long.
Oh, somebody's at the hatch. It's Dawson, I guess.
All right, you two. Stay back against the bulkhead.
You didn't lose any time getting here, did you, Dawson?
What's the idea of kicking out the telecam lens?
To make you come in here. I want to talk to you.
Real smart kid, aren't you? Well, I'm here. Talk.
How about a deal, Dawson?
Deal? Huh? What kind of a deal can you make?
When you Shanghaied me, you were under Captain Pickering's orders, weren't you?
So what?
Just this. The Solar Guard will catch up with Pickering sooner or later. And when they do, you'll be as guilty as he is.
What are you driving at?
If you'll get us off this ship at Venusport, I'll recommend leniency with the Solar Guard. You helped us, so you might even get off scot-free.
Don't hand me that.
The kid's talking sense, Dawson.
There's no risk for you, because even if the idea doesn't work, we won't give you away.
Well, how am I supposed to spring you loose?
All you have to do is leave this hatch unlocked when we land on Venus. We'll do the rest.
What's in this for me?
I just told you. It's your chance to get out from under the captain's thumb. You'll be a free man again, Dawson.
Ah, no. I won't stick my neck out unless you make it worth my while.
All right. Maybe this will change your mind.
Huh? Your watch?
It's not an ordinary watch. It's platinum. Worth a lot of money. If you help us, it's yours.
Give it here.
Hey, wait, Tom. Not until he promises.
I said hand it over.
All right. Here.
Not a bad watch at that. Thanks, mate.
Now hear this. Approaching Venusport. All hands to landing stations. All hands to landing stations. On the double.
Hey, I gotta go topside.
Wait, Dawson. Will you help us?
I'll think it over.
What did I tell you, Tom? We've been on the ground for over 3 hours now.
How much longer before we blast off again, Harris?
15 minutes.
Well, there's still time. Dawson may come back.
Not him. He tricked you.
If I could only contact the port commander.
Well, shaking that hatch won't do you any good.
Jumping Jupiter. Harris, come here.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Look, this hatch isn't bolted.
Well, I'll be...
Dawson kept his word.
But I sure had that guy pegged wrong.
Now, which way is the auxiliary airlock?
Down the companionway and to the left.
Well, then come on. With any kind of break, we'll be off this ship in 2 minutes.
Go ahead, Tom. Nobody spotted us. They're all busy with the loading.
Easy, Harris. Stay behind the stabilizer until we're sure of our bearings.
This blasted Venus mist. You can't see a thing.
Just as well. Then no one can see us. The administration tower ought to be south of here. Come on.
Hey, you better cut over this way, Tom. There'll be guards at the landing tower.
Right.
All right, you two. Over, I'll shoot.
It's Dawson.
Turn around, get your hands up.
He double-crossed us, the dirty space rat.
If you didn't have that gun, Dawson, I'd knock your ears off.
No, your deserters caught red-handed jumping ship. I've got every right to blast you, and I think I will.
Looks like somebody got some big ideas today. And fellas and girls, here's another big idea. Give Mom the surprise of her life. Get her the big, colorful 10-piece baking set Kellogg's Cornflakes is offering. She'll thank you 1,000 times. You bet your boot. Because this baking set is so handy, so useful, it actually makes baking fun. Listen to all you get. The most up-to-date mixing bowl, 4 measuring spoons, all held together so they won't get lost, 4 cookie cutters, and a special bowl scraper. Your eyes will pop when you see the bright, sparkling colors. Sunshine yellows, cherry reds, brilliant greens. They sure will dress up Mom's kitchen. And the mixing bowl is amazing. Made of the newest plastic, so lightweight and flexible, it's easier for Mom or you to handle. Also, absolutely unbreakable. You can even wash it in hottest water. And wait till you see those cookie cutters. Such keen, sharp edges, and such fun. You'll cut cookies to look like hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. Mom will thank you, too, for that bowl scraper. Great for beating, scraping, folding. Best of all, you get all 10 pieces of this baking set for less money than the bowl alone would cost. It's a great bargain, and a great way to surprise Mom. Just do this. Send 50 cents in the top from any 2 boxes of Kellogg's Cornflakes to Kellogg's, Box 926, Toronto, Ontario. That's the top from any 2 boxes of Kellogg's Cornflakes, and 50 cents to Kellogg's, Box 926, Toronto. But hurry, these baking sets are going fast.
Escaping from the rocket ship Constellation, Tom Corbett and his friend Harris are betrayed by the first mate, Dawson, who captures them on the mist-shrouded plains of Venus. He is about to blast them with his ray gun when Captain Pickering, the skipper of the Constellation, suddenly appears out of the mist.
What's going on here, Mr. Dawson?
These men tried to jump ship, Captain. The pair we had in the brig, Stevenson and Harris.
Deserters, eh? On the Constellation, we shoot deserters. That's against space law, Captain Pickering. You're supposed to turn over all captured deserters to the Solar Guard.
I told you once I don't like space lawyers. That still goes.
Let me blast them now, sir. Get rid of them once and for all.
No, Mr. Dawson, put them back aboard. I want them in irons and under double guard until we blast off.
Aye, aye, sir. Come on, you space rats. Get moving. On the double.
Wait a minute.
Move, I said.
Captain Pickering, don't you want to know how we got out of the brig?
What?
Snap your tooth and move.
Ask Dawson how we got out.
He took a bribe from us. He let us out. He what?
Don't listen to them, Skipper.
Then how did they get out?
Harris, stand by to move. Right.
Maybe they walked through the bulkhead, eh?
Skipper, I don't know how they did it.
You're responsible for them.
Get ready. You take out Dawson.
Okay. Come on, answer me.
They're lying, Skipper. Honest they are.
Don't give me that. I'll break every bone in your body.
No, Skipper, let go of my arm.
Now, Harris, dial in.
Hey, Skipper, look out. You look out, Dawson. Why, you little space pup. You missing, Captain. Oh.
Hell, I take care of you. Harris, are you all right?
See when you get a second, Tom. Oh.
Brother, you really plowed him under.
I waited a long time for the chance, Tom. Someone's firing at us. Those are ray gun blasts.
We've been spotted by the crew.
Come on, run for it. We haven't a chance, Tom.
Yes, we have, and a good one. This Venusian mist will cover us in a second.
Hurry, over this way. Wait a minute. You're heading away from the control tower.
I know. That's where they'll expect us to go.
So we'll circle around. Oh, good idea. Hold it, Harris. Oh, what's the matter? I saw somebody just ahead there in the fog. Down, quick! Hug the ground! He's coming this way. Shh. Keep low. He didn't see us. Which way now, Tom?
To the left. Don't run, though.
We're still in range.
We'll give ourselves up to the first solar guard we can find.
Yeah. We can duck those men from the Constellation with...
Any sign of them, Captain?
Watch it. There's Dawson.
No! Keep pressing, Dawson. Don't let them reach that control tower.
What do we do, Tom? We're cut off.
Don't lose your head. They don't know where we are. Just keep walking.
Mr. Dawson! Here, Captain. Any luck? Not yet, sir. But the men are finding out, though. They've done. Keep your eyes peeled.
They're drawing the cordon around us, Tom. We're sunk.
We've got to slip through somehow.
Wait a minute. What's that ahead? Where? That light. By Jupiter, it's the control tower. We're almost there, Harris. Keep going. Another 20 yards and we've made it. Oh, no.
Captain?
It's no use, Harris. They've got it.
With only a few yards to go.
Now take either of you, and I'll blast.
All right. We know when we're licked.
Okay. Let's have a look at you.
Hey, Tom. Tom, pipe this guy's uniform.
Why? He isn't from the Constellation.
Who said I was?
You're a port guard. You're from the tower.
That's right, and that's where I'm taking you to under arrest.
You'll take us to the port commander?
This minute. Now march.
Harris, we've made it.
Aye. When you explain everything to the port commander, our troubles are over.
Well, can't you walk any faster, guard? We're in a hurry.
You bet we are.
The two people under arrest, you look mighty pleased with yourself. Well, I guess it takes all kinds to make a universe.
It sure does. And it looks like we're the lucky kind.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Thursday, when the meeting with the port commander suddenly takes a sudden deadly turn, and Tom is sent back aboard the Constellation, headed for deep space. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Corn Flakes, the cereal that helps you have more punch till lunch. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, also appears in the comic sections of many of Canada's leading newspapers. Look for a daily and in weekend edition. Featured in the cast are Al Markham as Astro, Jan Merlin as Roger Manning, and Edward Bright as Captain Strong. Today's program was directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking. The whole day starts out better when breakfast is fun. And one way to make breakfast fun is to have a different cereal every morning. How? That's easy. Easy for Mom, too. Ask her to get Kellogg's Variety Pack. Kellogg's Variety Pack is an assortment of cereals. 10 individual-sized boxes in one handy carton. And each individual box holds exactly one generous serving of a favorite Kellogg cereal. Yes, in Kellogg's Variety, they're all favorite cereals. Kellogg's Corn Flakes, Pep, Rice Krispies, and the new favorite Kellogg's Corn Pops, to mention just 4. And each serving stays extra crisp and fresh because it's in its own individual package. So just for fun, make breakfast fun. Ask Mom to get Canada's only cereal assortment, Kellogg's Variety Pack.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. You are one of 4 people trapped in an isolated trading post somewhere in the Yukon Territory. The blizzard outside making escape impossible. And you know that before the spring thaws release you, before you can leave this cabin behind you, one of your companions, by consent of the others, will be killed.
Listen now as Escape brings you Les Crutchfield's story, Judgment Day at Crippled's Deer.
I think it most unlikely that you ever heard of Crippled Deer Crossing. You would have great difficulty locating it on a map, even though the Yukon, for the most part, is vast and empty. Crippled Deer is a trading post, one sprawling pine log building, nothing more. But it's been my home and my business for 20 years now, and in the course of time I have grown fond of it, even grown fond of the bitter cruelty of the Great North. Yes, fond, too, of the long winters, snowbound, dark, when the trappers and miners have all gone outside, and we wait alone for the coming of spring. But of one such winter I am not fond. I still wake at times from dreaming of it, lie shuddering and fearful in the darkness. That was the winter of the black snow, when the horror came moaning on the wind and no man could look in another's eyes without shame and loathing and hate.
Listen, LeClaire. Listen to it. I know that sound and the gray skies and the black in the west. It's going to hit us before tomorrow morning.
Oh, it's close, all right. What do you think, Joe?
Many wolf track and snow last night. Much hunting. They're now asleep. I think maybe one day, maybe 2, then big blizzard come.
All right, 2 days then. That's still cutting it too close. You ought to be here by now.
Real anxious, ain't you, Bella? Just can't wait. Honey, what's Marco got that we ain't got?
You wouldn't know, Higgins.
You would, though, wouldn't you, sweetheart?
At least he's got a civil tongue in his head. And he's also got a lot of things you'd give your right arm for, Higgins. He knows how to laugh and live and how to make other people laugh and live.
I'll bet he does.
And he knows how to treat a woman.
Yeah, any woman the way I hear it.
You shut that mouth of yours right now, or I'll make you wish you had.
You will.
Higgins, in a day or two now the blizzard comes, close the trails, and we here then all of us together the rest of the winter, here this one building, no way to get out. I tell you once and for all, I will not have this kind of feeling.
Then let him shut up.
Can't take a joke.
That's enough, Higgins. You've got a right to be worried. I'm worried myself. Marco and Blakey don't have enough grub up there. If they get snowed in at that mine, they can't possibly last out the winter. And that blizzard is close. Should have come down by now.
I was just funning her, LeClaire. Sorry, Belle.
Then watch what you're saying.
Don't worry. They'll make it all right. Why, Marco Moore knows more about this country and the weather than most people. No talk. You sound.
Well, what is it, Joe?
Dog teeth. Sled coming.
Marco. Must be Marco and Blake.
Where's those binoculars? Maybe we can see them when they come through the gap, huh?
Higgins, help me open the window.
Might not be them, Belle. Could be Robertson.
Not him. He's too smart a Monty to get snowed in this far from Dawson. Come on, push.
All right, here. Let me see now. It's nearly too dark to... Hey, there's a sled, all right, coming out of the gap.
It's them. It is them, isn't it?
I can't quite make... No, it's only one man.
A Monty.
No, not Robertson. It's Blakey. But Marco is not with him.
What?
Blakey coming in alone.
Alone?
2 partner go. 1 come back very bad.
No, shut up, Joe. Don't pay any attention to him, Belle. Marco is all right.
He better be. For Blakey's sake, he better be.
They've been partners 3 seasons now, Belle. There's no reason to think anything is wrong.
You look dog team, lead dog. Marco's dog.
Pop!
He's right. He's that big husky with a white star. Marco got him 2 years ago.
Hold up the man, Jim! Bring out the girl! Blakey is back!
I don't know. I just don't know.
Prodigal son, gents. Starve for a fatted calf and maybe a glass or 2 of rye whiskey.
Blakey.
Well, Leclerc, uglier than ever. Indian Joe, what do you have in the tribe, huh? Oh, Higgins, look at that paunch. And Belle. Ah, sweetheart, you make up for all of them. Gorgeous.
Blakey, where's Marco?
Marco? Well, ain't he here yet?
Should he be?
Well, he pulled out a few days before I did. I stayed on till yesterday working the claim. Of course, he might have stopped off someplace.
Where? Stopped off where?
Well, maybe at Jackson River. In fact, your Posa's got a pair of mighty pretty daughters, Belle.
You better get your dogs out of harness, Blakey, and get your stuff inside. It may start snowing.
Yeah, looks like it's building up a good one.
Say, Blakey, that lead dog there, he's new, ain't he?
Why, I guess you could call it that. That's Marco's dog. Marco traded with me. He figured I'd be running closer to the storm, so I'd need a better lead dog than he would, so he traded with me.
I see.
You see what? What's this all about? You act like it's a matter of life and death.
The 4 of us talked it over while Blakey was unpacking his sled. It didn't add up. We agreed on that. At least it didn't add up the way Blakey was claiming. He was a born liar, we knew that, and Marco should have been at the trading post by now, even if he had stopped off at Jackson River. Now, when Blakey came in, we ate, and then we waited some more. Still no sound of another dog sled or Marco.
Wind seems to be slacking off some. Blizzard ain't far off. Wind always slacks off first. Who's for game of pinochle? What's the matter with all of you? You ain't spoke one decent word to me since I got here. Anybody think I was a wolf that sneaked in out of the woods or something? Well, why don't somebody say something?
How'd you get that bruise under your eye, Blakey?
How'd you get that bruise? You sit around and stare at me for a couple of hours, and then the only thing you can think of to say is, how'd you get that bruise?
What happened? Did you get in a fight with somebody?
I got the bruise from a rock.
But how?
I was working in the tunnel. We drove. Some rock fell out of the roof, and a piece of it hit me. That's how I got it.
You're lying.
What's the matter with you, Belle?
You're lying, I said. You fought with Marco. That's how you got it.
I ain't fought with nobody. Why would I fight with him? We was partners.
Was, Blakey?
I mean, are. We still are.
What did you fight about, Blakey?
Nothing. We didn't fight about nothing.
You gotta have some reason, Blakey. Partners don't start fighting over nothing.
I mean, we wasn't fighting. Look, I don't know why Marco isn't here. I ain't his mother. Maybe he changed his mind. He said he was going to be here. That's all I know about it.
Then why isn't he? He left before you did. You said so yourself. Where is he, Blakey?
I don't know. What's the matter with all of you? You think I killed him or something?
Yeah.
What?
That's right, Blakey. We think maybe you killed him.
Oh, come off of it. You're out of your mind. You're kidding. That's what it is, a joke, huh? Me killing old Marco. That's a laugh for you.
You're going to tell us about it, huh?
About what? There ain't nothing to tell. Now, look, if I had done something...
Why would I come straight here where you're all friends of his, where you're expecting him?
Where else would you go?
Well, to Jackson River.
They don't have room to put a man up.
All right, I could head for Dawson or south to Whitehorse.
Storm too close, no time. Here only place.
All right, answer me one thing. Why? Why do you think I killed him?
Show him, Leclerc.
Yeah. This might be the reason, Blakey.
You've been going through my stuff. You got no right.
We did it anyway. Now, what about this?
I was going to tell you about that. I figured I'd wait and make it a kind of surprise.
Surprise?
That's rich quartz, Blakey. Must have opened up quite a pocket.
It's the richest lode between here and Mackenzie Bay.
Not rich enough for two?
Marco didn't even know about it. I stumbled onto it after he'd already left. That's why I was keeping it for a surprise.
These two, Blakey? Were you keeping these for a surprise? I gave him those gloves and that writing tablet. And I knitted that pair of socks last winter.
Well, he told me to pack up anything he'd missed, bring it along. That proves he was figuring to come here.
Why?
Well, look, I know you're worried about Marco and all.
Do you?
But you're thinking the wrong way, all of you. You're all wrong. You're mixed up.
You're saying you didn't kill Marco. But you ain't saying it very good.
Joe, show him what you found in the sled.
You've got no right to bother my things.
This.
That's your knife, Blakey?
It was a fox. I shot it on the trail. Skinned it for the dogs. That's how the blood got on it.
You skinned fox. What you do with skin?
I left it. I'm a miner, not a trapper. I don't know anything about skins. Now look, the whole bunch of you. I'm getting fed up with this. Questions, accusing me. What do you think you are, a court of some kind? I don't have to answer anything. I ain't on trial. I'm going to turn in.
Next morning, the barometer dropped again, and we knew that blizzard would hit any minute. All that day, we sat huddled around that wood stove, not talking, just thinking about Marco and Blakey. And just after dark, Blakey went outside to settle his dog team. By the time he came back in, we decided.
What are you all staring at?
Blakey, we're going to give you a trial.
A trial for what?
Jury of your peers. That's the only law we got. That's all we're likely to have till spring. Robertson bypassed us. He got on through to Dawson to beat the blizzard. It's just you and us, Blakey.
You're crazy. You ain't the law.
If you got anything to say in your own defense, any explanation...
I ain't doing no more talking. You can't do nothing to me.
Whatever you say, Blakey.
Let's vote. Get it over with.
If he won't talk, there ain't no use asking him anything else. I say he killed Marco.
One vote guilty.
2. Of course he did it.
Joe?
He killed.
That's 3 guilty, and mine makes 4. That's unanimous, Blakey.
And just what do you aim to do about it?
Well, we got to decide.
Well, I'll decide for you. You ain't going to do nothing. And you know why? Because of this.
Grab him, Joe.
Hold it. But don't none of you move. Looks a little different now, don't it?
Put it down, Blakey. That rifle won't get you out of this.
It won't, huh? Well, I'd say it's made some changes already. 4-1. You felt mighty big, didn't you? Well, how do you feel now? Things is kind of even up a little, ain't they?
You can't hold us at gunpoint all winter.
I ain't figuring to. I'm getting out of here. And none of you better try to stop me.
Where are you planning to go?
That's my business. But I sure ain't going to stay around here no longer. Now, all of you, stay right where you are.
He's crazy. Where could he get to?
Nowhere's maybe, but he ain't thought that far. All he knows right now is he's going to get away.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
Get your rifles. We'll go after him.
You are listening to Judgment Day at Crippled Deer, tonight's presentation of Escape. Saturday night on CBS Radio's thrilling Western series called Gunsmoke, meet United States Marshal Matt Dillon. Marshal Dillon faces another problem this Saturday, a problem as real and vital as the Old West itself, and just as full of action as well. Don't miss the exciting, unusual drama on CBS Radio's Gunsmoke, Saturday night on most of these stations. And now, Escape and the second act of Judgment Day at Crippled Deer.
Tracking down a fellow man is not a pleasant thing, even though he's crazed with fear. But there was no choice. The four of us stood a moment longer looking at the door that had slammed shut behind Blakey, and then...
Ready?
Yeah, let's get it over with. Come on.
Don't let him get away.
Joe, you see, can you pick up his trail?
He couldn't have got far. He ain't had enough time. Here.
What?
Track start here. Come. It's pitch dark to me. How can you see any tracks? Me see. Come.
He seems to be heading back on the trail.
On foot, without even snowshoes. He's out of his mind.
Guilt and fear, they do funny things to a man.
Leave trail now. Turn this way. Into the woods. Come.
Run. Get away from them. That's all he could think about there in the cabin.
Crazy. Clean out of his senses.
Go on back. Stay away from me.
He's hauled up in that storage shed up on the creek bank. I saw the flash.
Why don't we leave him there? Let him get snowed in. Let him start.
No. When a man begins to start, it gets dangerous. He had that rifle, and there's a whole case of ammunition in that shed. He could hang around the cabin and pick us off one at a time.
Me go. Me bring him.
You think you can slip up on him, Joe?
You talk. Shoot guns. Make noise. I go.
Blakey! Get out of here. Haul it back to the post.
Maybe this'll shake him up a little.
You're wasting your time. I got cover and you ain't.
A dirty murderer. I'll blast him out of there.
No, hold it. You might hit the Indians. Why don't you tell us about it, Blakey? About Marco. Get it off your chest. Where did you bury him?
I didn't bury nobody.
You mean you left him for the wolves?
If you don't stop saying that, I'll get every last one of you before.
Hey, Joe must have got inside.
You come now. Everything all right. No trouble. You come.
All right. Let's go get him. We dragged him back to the post. We tied his hands together behind his back and locked him in one of the bunk rooms. Then we sat, the four of us. We didn't say much. Not looking at one another, knowing what we had to decide, putting it off as long as we could. And then it was Belle, who had been in love with Marco and was ready not to go to pieces any minute, finally brought it out in the open.
We can't sit here and put it off all winter. We got to decide what we're going to do. Get it over with.
I suppose you're right.
You know I'm right. What's the matter with all of you? What are you afraid of?
It's a big responsibility, Belle.
Not for me. Maybe you can feel sympathy for him, but I don't. He don't even count. 100 of him would make up for Marco.
Perhaps you're right, Belle, but what I was thinking, storm ain't hit yet, and as long as there's a chance Robertson will still come, well, maybe we ought to wait and leave it to him. After all, he's the law. It's his job.
Redcoat no come now. Blizzard too close. You go very fast to Dawson. No one spend winter here.
Joe is right. We can't figure on turning Blakey over to the police. Robertson's already probably in Dawson. And we can't try to keep him prisoner clear through the winter. I guess we all agree on that.
You know what I agree on.
So I guess we better make up our minds, huh?
Mine's made up now. You know that.
Yes, I know that, Belle.
Law of my people say, Man who killed friend must die always.
I don't know, LeClaire. Killing a man in a fight or a battle when you're crazy mad, that's one thing. But doing it in cold blood like this, well, it ain't easy to face it. It ain't the same.
I guess we all feel that way about it. None of us want to do it. It looks to me like we don't have much choice.
We don't, and the sooner the better.
I don't know. The Mountie might still come.
Make up your mind, Higgins. If you're afraid, say so.
Well, it ain't that.
You agree with the rest of us then, or don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's settled then. Well, we might as well get it over with, huh?
How are you thinking to do it, LeClaire?
Well, hanging, that's the usual way, I guess. That roof pole outside the front of the cabin, we could take him up on the roof and tie the other end of the rope to that pole. And then make him step off.
How much of a fall does it take?
I only seen it done once down in the States.
Wouldn't do that. Have it go wrong. No call for him to suffer any more than this.
No, we do careful. We plan it all out.
Stop talking about it and do it. Do it and get it over with.
We're going to, Bell.
Well, get on with it.
Oh, Joe, get a ladder up against the eaves out there, huh? Higgins and me, we cut a piece of rope.
Good.
Now, I guess we better tell him.
Hang me? You've decided to hang me?
Blake.
You don't even know what you're saying. People don't sit down and decide they're going to hang somebody and expect to get away with it. You can't take the law into your own hands.
You're just making it harder for us, Blakely.
Harder for you? I'll make it harder for you when Robertson shows up.
Robertson ain't going to show up.
You're out of your minds.
We're going to have to drag you, Blakey.
You'll drag nobody. I'll walk. Let's see just how far you're planning to go with this.
All right, we go out through the main room.
Bell, you know what they're figuring to do?
Yeah.
Well, do something. Stop them. You're a woman, Bell. You're different.
I wish there were 10 of you, Blakey, so they could hang you 10 times instead of once.
Bell.
Get him out of here. Take him out and get it over with.
Yeah, come on.
She's crazier than the rest of you. It's all crazy. It's like a nightmare.
Watch your step, LeClaire. That crust is freezing slick.
Yeah.
Like it ain't real. It really happened. Not to me, anyway.
You know, that wind has died down some.
Always does just before the blizzard hits.
All right, Blakey. Climb up on the roof.
Roof?
Yeah.
And you climb the ladder, you want us to help you.
I can climb.
You go up there by the ridgepole, Blakey, up there where Joe is standing.
Yeah, better let me help you. A lot of snow on the roof. Ain't easy with your hands tied that way.
All ready, rope tied. Everything ready.
Oh. Well, might as well we get on with it, huh?
Maybe you better tie it around his neck, LeClaire.
Huh?
You've seen it done once.
If I can remember. Hey, Blakey, come stand closer to the edge here, huh?
Careful, LeClaire. It's dark. Don't slip.
Yeah, that's fine. Right there now.
What? It's a joke, huh? That's what... You gents are just trying to scare me so we can laugh about it afterwards.
Hold still, Blakey.
A joke.
Hold still.
A real good joke.
All right, that's fine.
That's very funny.
Looks like we're ready.
Yeah. Well, you got any last words, Blakey? I guess you better say them now.
You jump now.
Joe.
You jump.
Stop pushing.
You jump now.
We went inside. We left him swinging there, figured to take him down in daylight and bury him. I opened a bottle of brandy and we drank some fast in gulps. We needed it because it wasn't easy to do it. Not in cold blood that way. It didn't change much either when we stopped to think about it. It didn't bring Marco back to life, killing Blakey. Even Belle, who was crazy for revenge, was feeling sick. Then we got to thinking about Robertson, too, how he never missed stopping by before on his last trip out to Dawson. And then Joe heard it.
Dogs! Here, dogs! Sled come!
Robertson!
I told you we ought to wait. Now we're in for
We
it.
gotta do something. We gotta think of something to tell him. Make up a story.
What, with Blakey still hanging out there? What story?
But we gotta do something.
All we can do is tell him the truth and hope he sees it the way we did. He's an old-timer in the North. He'll understand.
We'll make him understand. He'll be snowed in with us here. All us together for the rest of the winter. We'll make him understand.
We did right. At least we know it. I think he will. Got a steak and a drink for a hungry man? Well?
Marco!
Why all the surprise? I promised you I'd be here, didn't I, Belle? Stopped over a couple of days in Jackson River. Dang, you got snowed in. Said did Blakey make it all right? He was going to leave the mine a couple of days after I did.
Under the direction of Norman MacDonald, Escape has brought you Judgment Day at Crippled Deer by Les Crutchfield, starring Lawrence Dobkin with Harry Bartell. Featured in the cast were Lou Krugman, Georgia Ellis, James Nusser, and Clayton Post. Your announcer, George Walsh. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are standing alone in a mountain village somewhere in the puppet country of Andorra, the high crags of the Pyrenees trapping the last of the daylight. And you know that in one of the stone houses facing you, behind one of the doors that is closed against you, is a beautiful woman whom you must find before she meets her death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Kathleen Height's story, The Wall. Saturday night on CBS Radio, Gangbusters revealed the true facts behind a fantastic hotel holdup in which three comical bad guys with a wicked sense of humor terrorize Manhattan hotel guests, rob them, and vanish into the night after commandeering the hotel for their own high profit without interference. Hear Gangbusters' true crime case history Saturday night on most of these stations. Listen while you work. Enjoy Young Dr. Malone every Monday through Friday in the daytime on the CBS Radio Network.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol! Transcribed high adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! Buzz and Happy are in the lower shaft of a secret mine on Saturn's sixth moon. As they wade through the water of the partly flooded shaft, a strange sound filters down through the mine.
Happy, listen. Sounds like a motor of some kind. The mine's automatic pump. When the water reaches a certain level, it cuts on and draws off the water. But, Commander, look at the water level against the wall of the shaft. It's rising. You're right, Happy. That pipe isn't drawing water out, it's forcing it in. Someone reversed the pump. They're trying to drown us.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Last Voyage of the Lonesome Lena. presenting the story of a young boy who didn't like any of the cereals his mom brought home. First he'd say,
I can't eat that stuff, Mom.
Sometimes he'd say,
Oh, gee, no flavor.
And then again,
Don't like it, Mom. I just don't like it.
So she tried cereals in white packages, yellow packages, blue packages, but no luck.
No flavor.
Then one day she brought home a pair of cereals in red and white checkerboard packages.
Wowee, that's good. Oh, boy.
That's what he said when he tasted one of them.
Jumpin' Jupiter. Great day in the morning. This is it.
That's what he said when he tasted the other. The cereals?
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, gang. Man, oh, man. They're my cereals.
Buzz Corey's cereals, too. The bite-sized super cereals that help to supercharge you.
Best tasting cereals in the universe.
And the only official ready-to-eat cereals of the Space Patrol.
Fill her up, Mom. Rice Chex.
That's what our friend says now.
Fill her up, Mom. Wheat Chex.
So, gang, if you want a cereal that's right on the beam for flavor, get the cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Rice Chex. Wheat Chex. Saturn's number 6 moon, Titan, has become increasingly important to the commerce of the outer planets. However, rumors of illegal activity on Titan have caused Commander Corey to send Tonga, his assistant security chief, to the Saturn satellite to investigate. Now, Buzz and Happy aboard Space Patrol battlecruiser Terra 5, headed for Titan, are talking to Tonga by spaceophone, as she reports from the satellite's chief settlement, Titan Center.
So you find that the chief black market items are processed foods and medical supplies, huh?
That's right, Commander.
What about those reports we received on the uranium mine? Was there anything to the sabotage rumors?
Well, there was no actual sabotage, but about 2 weeks ago, a couple of men did try to get inside the guarded area.
Were they captured?
No, they got away. But there haven't been any recent incidents.
Have you found out who's behind this black market food situation?
No, but there's a lot of talk about a Captain Kruger.
Captain Gustav Kruger?
Yes, he's the one. He's quite a legend in this part of the solar system.
I think I've heard of him, Commander. Isn't he that old-time space pilot who has the broken-down cargo ship?
Yes, Happy. Lonesome Lena, he calls it. He's been shuttling back and forth between Saturn's moons for years. I've never heard of him being mixed up in anything dishonest. Who gave you this information?
A man named Sherwin McCurdy, for one. He's behind a lot of this new development in Titan. Kruger has given McCurdy some trouble, but I don't think McCurdy takes the old gentleman too seriously.
Have you met Kruger?
No, not yet. He just got back from Saturn. He said Titan sent to the spaceport repairing his ship.
We'll have a talk with him when we land. Meet us at the spaceport and we'll go over together.
Yes, sir.
Corey out. Well, stand by for landing, Happy.
Standing by, sir.
Kill rockets.
Rockets out.
Hit repel array.
Repel array on, sir.
Now, let's button up the ship, and then we'll have a chat with Captain Kruger.
So that's the Lonesome Lena. Boy, that ship must be 100 years old.
Well, not quite, Happy, but it has seen a lot of service.
It's so patched up. And look how it's pitted with meteor hits.
Only a real space pilot could keep it in operation.
Is that Kruger coming down the ladder?
Yes. Captain Kruger! Oh, Captain Kruger!
He looked right at us and then turned away.
Oh, I told you he was independent. Let's get over there. He's checking the hatch. Well, how's the ship, Captain?
Good for another 50 billion GUs.
With you handling it anyway. Remember me, Commander Corey?
Yeah, I recognized you.
This is my cadet, Happy.
Very glad to know you, Captain.
Have some calcium seeds, Cadet?
Some what?
Calcium seeds. Great unraveled orbits, Commander. Don't tell me this new crop of space cadets doesn't know what calcium seeds are.
Never heard of them, Captain.
Your education sure has been neglected.
Well, they grow on Venus, Happy. They used to be very popular on space flights.
Yeah, you never get space sickness if you chew calcium seeds. Not only that, but they keep you from blacking out at high acceleration.
Oh.
And out in space, you'd never mind the absence of gravity as long as you chew calcium seeds.
As you can see, Happy, Captain Kruger is a pilot of the old school. He's the only pilot I know who still chews raw calcium seeds.
Yeah. People nowadays won't touch them. Just because they stain your hands purple when you crack them. Well, Commander, you didn't come over here for a lecture on calcium seeds. What's on your mind?
Oh, just a few questions about business.
I see. I suppose you've heard rumors that I'm hijacking food and selling it on the black market. Is that it?
There are a lot of rumors in Titan these days, Captain.
Yeah. And a lot of upstarts. They come in here with shiny new ships and big ideas. They act like I don't belong. I'm getting shoved around, Commander. But I'm not going to take it. I never have. I'm not going to now. Well, now, if you'll excuse me, I got some repairs to make. Lonesome Lena's in pretty bad shape.
All right, Captain. Come on, Happy. Let's find Tonga.
You can tell them for me that if Sherwin McCurdy promised delivery, they'll get it. We're a little short of spaceships here on Titan right now. Hey, look, stall them off. Promise them anything. I'll call you back later. Come in.
McCurdy, I want to work with you.
Well, Captain Kruger, glad to see you.
Put your hand back in your pocket, McCurdy.
Well, what's the matter, Captain? You seem angry.
Why wouldn't I be? For 10 years, I've been setting the old Lonesome Lena down on Titan any place I wanted, or on any moon in the Saturn system. Folks were mighty glad to see me whenever I rocketed in, until your crowd got here.
My crowd, Captain?
One of your hired flunkies just told me I can't set down on the Titan Center spaceport anymore. Oh, what kind of high-handed nonsense is that?
It isn't nonsense, Captain. You can't put the Lonesome Lena down on this port. Well, that old bucket of bolts you call the Lonesome Lena's a menace. If I had my way, I'd report you to the Space Patrol. They'd melt up that old hulk.
Oh, you would. You'd melt up a ship that has helped keep people alive for the last 40 years out here on these moons.
Ship's out of date. It served its purpose. Now it's finished.
Who are you to decide whether the Lonesome Lena's finished? One patch on that old battered hull is worth 10,000 of you. Melt her up, would you? I warn you, McCurdy, if you ever say that again, I'll slap you.
Take your hands off me. Take your...
All right, Captain, that's enough.
Commander Corey, this man attacked me. You got here just in time.
What's the trouble here?
I was merely pointing out that his spaceship violates Space Patrol safety regulations.
That's a bald-faced lie, McCurdy. The Lonesome Lena's safe as any ship in the space lane.
Does it have repel array equipment?
Well, no.
Does it have infrared viewscope equipment?
I don't need it. I can land it blindfolded on any spaceport in the solar system.
Does it have Class A radiation shielding on the space drive?
Her shielding's good enough. I ought to know. I've built it.
I see, Commander. Obviously, he can't be permitted to land here at Titan Center. Those are regulations.
Commander, I've always respected you. Are you going to side in with this planet lubber?
I'm sorry, Captain Kruger, but I don't make the regulations. My job is to enforce them. There are thousands of people here in Titan Center. Their safety comes first.
They're safer with Lonesome Lena than with half the amateur pilots in these new ships, and you know it.
Captain, if we made an exception in your case, we'd have to do it for everyone. However, we won't be concerned if you have these safety devices installed.
But that takes money, Commander. I haven't got it. I'll never be able to get it if I can't land here to load and unload freight.
Well, perhaps you can work out some arrangements to land outside a 10-mile radius of Titan Center.
10 miles? Might as well be 10 DUs out in space.
I'm sorry, Captain Kruger. There's nothing I can do.
You win, McCurdy. Have some calcium seeds. I won't be needing them anymore.
Well, Captain is very dramatic, isn't he?
I don't find it amusing, Mr. McCurdy. That old ship of his means more than his livelihood. It's his life.
Well, Commander, I wouldn't let my sympathies blind me to Captain Kruger's sharp practices.
What do you mean?
Kruger's lived by his wits. He's been a lone wolf. Now he's up against the rules of society, and instead of abiding by the rules, he takes the attitude that everyone's against him. Watch him, Commander. I confess I'm rather afraid of what he might do.
I'm here on Titan to prevent trouble, Mr. McCurdy. That's why I came to see you. I'd like to talk to you about conditions here.
Of course. Sit down.
All right, now I just want to make an appointment. I have a few matters to talk over first with my Assistant Security Chief, Tonga, back at our temporary headquarters.
I see.
How about later today?
That'll be fine, Commander. I'll look forward to it.
So the captain is really sore, huh?
Yeah. In a way, I can't blame him.
Oh, Tonga, did you tell the commander about the uranium mine?
Uranium mine?
Yes, the big one, halfway around Titan. Someone is planning to tap the mine, dig into it from a natural cavern on the other side of the mountain so they can steal the ore, or sabotage the mine.
Who's behind this?
I don't know. But I do know that some mining equipment has been hidden in the cavern. And I know the location. They're being very careful. The crust tunnel is being worked only when the cavern is on the night side of Titan. It's daylight there now.
I think Happy and I ought to take a look at it.
Do you want me to go too, Commander?
No, you stay here in Titan Center. Call Sherwin McCurdy. Tell him I won't be able to keep that appointment. May not be back in time.
There's the mouth of the cavern, sir.
There's been plenty of activity around here, too, by the looks of the ground.
Hey, there's a pipe leading from the cavern.
A drainage pipe. Machinery right inside the cave. Looks like a pump.
A pump?
Apparently they have to keep pumping water out of the shaft inside the cavern. Get your atomo light, Hap. We'll have a look inside. Don't bump your head when you go through this opening, Happy.
I wonder how close we are to the regular mine.
It's hard to tell.
Hey, we're in water over our ankles. Oh, the shaft can't go much farther. We must be halfway into the mountain by now. The water's getting deeper, sir. It's nearly up to my waist.
Yeah. Listen.
Sounds like a motor of some kind. Must be back outside the cavern.
The automatic pump engine. When the water reaches a certain level, it cuts on and draws off the water.
But, Commander, look at the water level against the wall of the shaft. It looks like it's rising.
You're right, Hap. That pipe isn't drawing water out, it's forcing it in. Someone reversed the pumps. They know we're down here, and they're trying to drown us.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a minute. They call him Whizzer, and there's not another boy in the neighborhood who can play basketball half as well. What's your secret, Whizzer?
No secret. I just get supercharged every morning.
You mean you have a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal?
You bet. Rice Chex, Wheat Chicks, or Instant Ralston. That's how Buzz Corey gets supercharged. That's how I get supercharged.
Say, how about those Chex? They're plenty delicious, right?
I'll say. And they're bite-sized.
And they're the only cereals in the universe that have that modern bite-sized design.
And there's only one cereal in the universe like Instant Ralston. I love it.
That's the hot super cereal. Helps you to think fast, act fast.
And play basketball fast.
You said it. Instant Ralston is a cereal for winners and whizzers. That's what you are, a winner. How about you, gang? Wouldn't you like to be Whizzer? Get supercharged. Eat a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal. Don't wait. Get 'em today. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, good hot Ralston. Buzz and Happy have entered a cavern on Titan, 6th moon of the planet Saturn, to investigate a hidden shaft that they believe leads to a uranium mine. After crawling through a narrow opening far under the ground, they suddenly noticed that the water in the bottom of the shaft seemed to be rising. Then they heard the sound of the pump echoing down from the cavern opening and realized that water was being deliberately pumped into the mine shaft to drown them. With the water up to their chests, they flashed their atomolites around them, searching for a way to escape.
Hey, wait, Hap. Listen.
I don't hear the pump anymore. Maybe it's been shut off.
No. The water's still gushing in from that pipe. We don't hear the pump because the water's over the narrow opening.
Well, then how are we going to get through?
We'll dive under long enough to get to a place where the water doesn't fill the shaft.
All set, Happy? Yes, sir. Dive deep.
We made it.
Yeah. Hey, the water's not even up to my hips here.
We're on an upward slope of the shaft. Come on, Happy. Let's get out of this place. I'll shut it off.
Well, there's no sign of a ship around here, sir, except ours.
Whoever did this has certainly finished us off.
I'd sure like to find out who it was.
Happy. Look there on the ground. See what's scattered around the pump?
Calcium seeds.
Right.
Well, I guess we know who turned the pump on, sir.
I've known Captain Kruger a long time. I can't imagine him doing a thing like this.
Shall I pick up some of these seeds, sir, for evidence?
Yes. Then let's get back to Titan Center.
I don't understand it, Commander. I don't see how Kruger or anyone else knew that I told you about the secret mine.
He could have seen our ship headed that way and followed us in Lonesome Lena.
Well, if he did, he must be working with a gang. While you were gone, something happened here.
Oh?
Some antibiotics were stolen. Several thousand credits worth. The worst part of it is they're urgently needed at a hospital on Saturn. There's an epidemic of Zeta virus at Saturn City.
Well, can't they send medicine in from some other planet?
Well, this particular antibiotic is made here on Titan. There is some on the other planets, but there isn't enough time to get it. And if a supply of the medicine isn't taken to Saturn very soon, the doctors say a lot of cases will prove fatal.
Yeah, there must be some more of that medicine here on Titan. Maybe McCurdy can help us out.
I've already talked to McCurdy. He said he's contacted every possible source. The thieves stole every bit of it and will now hold out for a fancy prize.
Well, they won't have to hold out long.
Commander, do you think Kruger's mixed up in this, too?
We're going to find out, Happy. Let's find the Lonesome Lena.
Corey!
Captain Kruger.
I won't be persecuted. Not by the Space Patrol or anybody else. I'm getting a raw deal. And if you're as fair-minded as I think you are, you'll agree with me.
Is the raw deal you're getting as bad as being nearly drowned in a flooded mine?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Show him the evidence, Happy.
Yes, sir. Recognize these, Captain?
Well, of course, they're calcium seeds.
We found them by the pump, Kruger.
Pump? What pump?
In the opening of the secret shaft near the uranium mine.
I'm not interested in any uranium mines. I want justice. Commander, look what that McCurdy has done to me now. You see this paper? It's a doctor's order telling me I can't make any more commercial space flights. McCurdy has been trying to get the official doctors on me for months. We finally succeeded. They gave me a checkup, and I'm grounded.
Let me see that.
For 6 hours, they gave me tests. Heart, blood pressure, metabolism, the works.
This is Dr. Greer's signature, all right.
Yeah. But just read what he says.
Captain Kruger's condition makes any further space flights extremely dangerous. As a space physician, I deem it inadvisable for Captain Kruger to be permitted to operate any commercial spacecraft for reasons of his own safety and the safety of others. Signed, Dr. Melvin Greer.
What am I going to do now, Commander? I'll starve to death. I'd rather go quick, blasting off on a spaceship.
Just a minute, Captain. This physical examination must have taken several hours.
I just told you it did.
Then you couldn't have been at the mine.
Mine? I haven't been near any mine. I haven't been anywhere but in a doctor's office getting needles stuck in me. And that isn't all. While the doc was working on me, there was a gang of inspectors checking over Lonesome Lena.
Official Space Patrol inspectors?
Yeah. That's another thing McCurdy's been trying to arrange for months. I admit I've been dodging inspection because I knew what they'd say. Me and Lonesome Lena were both out of commission.
I'm sorry about that, Captain Kruger.
Yeah, you're sorry.
But you can be thankful for one thing. This examination clears you of suspicion. Someone has been trying very hard to implicate you in a serious crime.
Well, that's not news to me, Commander.
I have an idea who it might be.
You mean McCurdy, sir?
Now, wait a minute. I know McCurdy has it in for me, but I'd say this for him. He tried to get Dr. Greer to postpone the physical examination.
Oh, he did. After trying for months to bring it about.
Yeah, but it didn't do any good. The doc said I was too slippery an old cuss to take chances with. So I was stuck.
Happy. Tonga, we're going to find McCurdy. Captain, you stay around close in case I need you.
Don't worry, Commander. I won't be going anywhere.
There he is, sir. Heading for that atmosphere ship.
He certainly seems in a hurry.
Tonga, wait here. Come on, Happy.
McCurdy, wait a minute. He's running for the ship, sir. McCurdy, hold it. I want to talk to you.
What is it, Commander?
I've got a few questions I'd like to ask.
Of course.
We've just come from your office. From the looks of things, you left in a hurry. In fact, it looks as though you didn't intend to come back.
Should that concern the Space Patrol, Commander?
Possibly. Where were you going?
I happen to have business at Torkman on the other side of Titan. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Not until you explain that purple stain on your hands.
What?
That purple stain on your hands, could it be from calcium seeds?
Calcium seeds? Why, what would I be doing with calcium seeds?
Scattering them around a pump, maybe?
That package you're holding, what's in it?
This has gone far enough. Stand back and get your hands up.
You ought to be quicker than that, McCurdy.
Oh,
let go of that ray gun. That's it. Now, don't try anything like that again.
Commander, this package he's got. Look at the label. Acro Laboratories, Titan Center. Antibiotics. This must be the medicine that was to go to Saturn.
Take it back to Tonga. We'll blast off for Saturn right away.
You won't get off Titan in your ship, Corey.
Why not?
I put your controls out of commission so you couldn't follow me. And there isn't any other ship on the satellite except my atmosphere ship. And that won't take you there.
I'm afraid he's right, Commander.
You'll have to space up onto Saturn for a ship to come and get us.
Oh, but that will take hours. The situation on Saturn is critical.
Commander!
Yes, Captain?
Well, I see you got McCurdy.
Yes, and the medicine.
Yeah, but McCurdy's wrecked our ship. There's no way to get off of Titan.
Well, how about the Lonesome Lena?
But Lena's grounded.
Just a lot of official space jabber. She'll still fly. And by Jupiter, I'm taking you all to Saturn.
You'd better let me take your ship, Captain, after what the doctor said.
Commander, I know you're the best pilot in the solar system, but Lena's sort of, temperamental. She's got a lot of quirks and things. If she isn't handled just right, she just might go all to pieces.
Are you sure you're willing to risk a blast-off in Lena after what the doctor said?
Commander, I'm safer in Lonesome Lena than anywhere in the universe.
Then let's go. Come on, McCurdy. We're taking you with us.
Not in that pile of junk. It isn't safe.
Get going.
The ship's condemned. You have no right to endanger my life.
Why, you low-frequency crook. As though your life was worth a gallium seed.
Let's go. Bring the medicine, Happy.
All right, everybody. Sit tight. We're going to blast off.
Look at those controls. Why, they're just patched together.
Keep quiet, McCurdy. All right, Captain, when you're ready.
Wait just a minute. I got a few more adjustments to make here. Like I said, Lena's temperamental. You sort of got a sense what to do.
I admit I've never seen a control set up like this.
Are you ready, everybody?
Yes.
All set. Let her go.
And here we go. Commander, we're spaceport.
An excellent blast-off, Captain.
Yeah, just like I said.
Captain, what's wrong? I'm going to get the first aid kit, if there is one.
He's passed out. Now what are we going to do?
Happy. Yes, Commander?
Help me let the captain out of the pilot's seat.
Yes, sir.
There. Happy, you and Tonga see what you can do to make him comfortable. I'll take the Lonesome Lena into Saturn.
How you doing, Commander?
All right so far, Happy. We're 2 minutes out of Saturn City Spaceport. How's the captain?
He seems to be coming out of it, sir. Tonga's trying to make him lie down back aft.
He had me worried for a while. I hope he can take the landing. It'll be just as bad as the blast-off with this antiquated equipment.
Have you space-phoned the hospital, sir?
Yes. The chief physician says that to get the medicine there in half an hour, we'll be in time.
Oh, we can do that easy.
Yes, I can land this Hulk without crashing. Stand by for landing.
Commander!
Captain Kruger!
I just couldn't make him stay in the bunk, Commander.
Oh, I'm sorry I conked out on you, but I see you got everything under control. You think you can handle the landing, Commander, or do you want me to...
I'd better take her in, Captain, in case you...
Oh, sure. But if I just might make a suggestion... But that's it! Thunder and Comets, Commander, you sure know how to handle Lonesome Lena.
Here we go. Brace yourselves.
And that's it. You've got it.
We made it.
Captain, are you all right?
Oh, just fine. That was a great landing, Commander. I couldn't have done better myself.
Say, you took that pretty well.
Oh, I found some calcium seeds back aft. Nothing like 'em for space flying. You have some, Cadet?
This time you've got a customer, Captain. I don't feel so well.
This is Commander Corey.
And Marvin Miller.
Reminding you that pulling up to your breakfast table
is like pulling up to a filling station.
Give him our example, Marvin.
A jet cycle has just pulled into a filling station to get its tank filled.
The man has it filled with ordinary fuel. Listen. Not much go in that jet cycle, is there?
Now listen to the same jet cycle filled with super fuel. That cycle's flying like a rocket now because it's supercharged with super fuel.
Same thing is true for you, gang. To get going in the morning, you need super fuel, too.
So get supercharged the way space patrollers do.
Eat a good breakfast with Instant Ralston, the hot super cereal.
Instant Ralston helps you to think fast.
And act fast.
So remember, when you pull up to your breakfast table, it's just like pulling up to a filling station. You're there for fuel.
Super fuel. So you can get supercharged. Take a tip. Eat a good breakfast with Instant Ralston and get supercharged. Get it today in the red and white checkerboard package. Good hot Ralston.
And now for a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy have gone to the offices of John Crozer to rescue a noted scientist abducted by Crozer.
I know Professor Hegman is somewhere in this building, Crozer. Take us to him.
Why, Commander, you're mistaken.
Oh, no, we're not. Don't sit there under that sun lamp. Take me to Hegman.
Well, all right, Corey. If you insist.
Hey, my eyes! Turn that lamp off!
Get him, Happy! I can't see!
Here's yours, Cadet. Now, Corey, I'm going to finish you off permanently.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Brain Bank and the Space Binoculars, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol!
And now, gang, here's a word from Cadet Happy.
Boys and girls, this is Cadet Happy. Do you know how life-giving oxygen is carried to the cells of the body? By the bloodstream. So when a person loses a great deal of blood in an accident or in sickness, there's not enough blood left to do that job. Result? The person dies. So will you help me save lives by joining the Space Patrol Blood Boosters? It's fun. It's patriotic. So join the Space Patrol Blood Boosters today.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Marvin Miller, Nina Barra, and Norman Jolly. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol! Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local newspaper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.